I need to share my sound in order to hear the sound, huh? That's pretty important. Oh man, here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to Chronos Rising. The Demithots are here on Olympus post-victory against the Titans. There's much to celebrate, much to drink about, much to do. And luckily, it seems that the representative of the lands of Gaia has arrived. Archdruid Ian Morin is in talks with Zeus directly after Gyasi, seeing that if he can be convinced to find a different or better way. He is here to hear everything everyone has to say, and hopefully it goes well. The Keeper Gyasi, I believe, the Keeper of the Plains has been dubbed, has basically proposed to Zeus that maybe not all at once, but eventually, as it was his original design, to slowly begin to step away and let mortals begin to sort of take the reins here and there, little by little. And Zeus said it was worthy of contemplation, and he would see if such things could be done. But in the meantime, the Titans need to be slain. More than that, speaking of slaying Titans, you all have proven your mettle time and time again. It seems that Zeus is now ready to offer you a boon that he provides very few heroes. The boon of immortality, godhood. He offers the Ambrosia, the sweet drink of the gods, to you. Thalia bent the knee immediately and was like, hell yeah! Silenos went to the fates and contemplated accepting the power of gods versus accepting the power of Nyx herself, the most feared entity in the known universe. Gyasi, I think, pretty much refused, other than to say, like, maybe we could work together if we're on common ground with this idea of being stepping away from mortal kind. But currently, for the time being, has been reluctant to the offer. And that's pretty much where we are today. You guys have spoken to Athena and decided upon some plans. A couple of options have been presented to you about what to do next. You've all decided between Hyperion and Oceanus that Oceanus need to be slain, because Thalia has some friends who have been lost there since like level 5, like almost a year ago, and need to be saved. Many tactics have been thought out about what to do on that behest, about descending to the underworld and seeing if Hades could be convinced to raise an army of the dead to lure Oceanus away from his prime domain, going beneath the waves and rising, releasing the Kraken to help you all, hopefully in battle, if you could direct him towards Oceanus. Many plans, many options have been laid with the help of the goddess Athena and her warcraft. But for now, it is nighttime in Olympus, where you might rest your head and go quiet and think of what to be done next. So, with that, I would ask, what would the Demithots like to do in this late hour as you sit around the bathhouse and decide upon what's next? Oh, also, last point worth mentioning, Hephaestus handed out some cool items to people. Officially, hopefully, breaking his reputation of being very slow at creating magic items. He got them to you as quick as he could, but not before Thalia completely destroyed his confidence in his cool owl he made. But anyway, moving right along, what would you all like to do?
Since it's I'm at I'm sorry, Alicia's at the pool. She's staying up until she hears news of Ian Warren coming down. And until then, she's gonna test out the staff Hephaestus gave her.
Sure.
And
yeah, you whip out the staff of burning wood, and it is it is definitely you can't help but feel like it's a bit of a defamation to the Archdruid way. It looks like the And these staffs are handed out to the Archdruids and believed to be sort of like a symbol of their Archdruidiness. And you look between yours and Valerie's, who possesses one as well.
Yeah.
And it looks like someone literally took your staff and lit it on fire, and it doesn't feel great to look at. But as you're attuned to it, you recognize that despite appearances, it contains within it greater power than it once had. Many more dangerous spells at its disposal, and greater potential to harm your enemies.
Awesome. I am going to cast Conjure Elemental right near the pool.
What kind of elemental? Right near the pool, would you conjure water elemental?
I would conjure a water elemental.
The pool of water sort of ripples inward and bursting forward. You see not just a water elemental. You've seen them before in your plane, Alicia. But a water elemental that is broad and strong and will reap the benefits of the burning staff where you will reroll some damage, I believe is what it's tied to. But a powerful torrent of an elemental appears before you.
Excellent. Hello. Hello. Well, hello there. Good to meet you. I know I can't talk.
Ooh, it says in orange.
Do I understand anything of what it's saying?
You speak primordial?
Hold on, let me check. Yes, primordial.
You do. He says, "Hello there, Alicia."
Hello there to you too. What's your name?
My name is, well, you know what? Don't worry about it. What do you want me to smash?
You don't have a name, I see.
I have a name. It's just going to be a short-term relationship, and I don't want to get an hour. Calm down.
It's good to meet you.
Who am I beating up?
No one. Don't worry. You don't need to beat up anyone. Unless someone wants to pick a fight with it. Does anyone want to pick a fight with it, I suppose? Go head to head with this thing?
It flexes its watery arms that don't really do anything.
Nobody want to tussle? No?
Yeah, that's right. We're all intimidated.
I just don't want to get wet.
He's back!
Hey! Return of the King!
Return of the King! That's right! Return of the King. Oh my god, throw up gang signs around all of this.
Yeah.
Wrong chat.
Ouroboros, would you like to tangle with this thing to test its strength?
All right. I am so sorry, but can I get an extended recap really quick?
Okay, go ahead.
I do not believe you have, let me give you a little extended recap. So, the party was in the lands of Gaia. And within the lands of Gaia, they gained the benefit of the Archdruids, who seemed to be ready to aid. They realized that the secrecy of the lands of Gaia was quickly coming behind them, and they needed to either be ready to fight off a conquest or find a way to become one with the gods and find a symbiotic relationship. And so Valerie and Alicia were sent with the Demithots to Olympus, and there they did terrible battle with the Dragon of Time that enthralled Thalia into an offer of the past to see her lover again, which she accepted in a moment of desperation. But Leonis insisted upon her that each had a place and that she promised that no god, no power in the universe would stop him from seeing her again one day. So she returned to the battle and helped in the defeat of Kronos' lackeys. Zeus was released, and the remaining titans on Mount Olympus were thrashed and sent back down to Tartarus. And now celebration is had. The party has been offered Ambrosia, most of the party anyway, Ambrosia, to become gods, immortals. And we will see about that in a minute. But largely the party's just been celebrating, talking to various members of the gods, and also planning their next steps. The party intends to face Oceanus in the depths of the sea. It's only a matter of how. Will they go directly face-to-face in Atlantis? Will they attempt to release the Kraken to fight alongside them? Descend into the underworld to convince Hades to raise an undead army to lure him out onto a flotilla of Athenian battleships? It'll be up to the party to decide which tactic is the one that will win the day. But as Alicia's like, anyone want to fight by elemental? Anyone want to fight? Any of you? No? Yes? No? For about 5 minutes. descending from the top of the mountain, landing on the ground in front of you, you guys are going to see one of the members of the retinue of Zeus, Kratos. Not that Kratos, no. He'll
I
stand.
was taken aback for a second. They're like, wait, what?
No, not that Kratos, different Kratos.
27 initiative. He's the god killer.
Zeus!
Sorry.
Silenos!
We had just mended our relationship.
This will be your last day on Olympus! And no, wrong Kratos. Got a little into that one. But yes, Kratos, who is the god of strength, power, might, and sovereign rule, one of the retinue of Zeus, lands here and stands tall. And he looks around, and he points with a mighty arm. He's like Herculean in strength, this guy. He points to you, Ouroboros. He points to you, Thalia, and simply says, "Come." Turns on his back heel and begins to ascend the steps of Mount Olympus.
Ouroboros will look at Kratos, then look at the primordial, and then he'll just walk past the primordial and kind of mush it out of the way as he walks
Come on,
past.
bro! Look! And he's like, as you like hold his head, it's like, trying to get you. Just
How do you hold back water?
throw it back.
My gauntlets is magic, bruh.
It's true.
I choked out a ghost with these things.
It's true, actually. Ooh, fun fact, Kratos was actually the deity who was sent to imprison Prometheus in chains. He's the one who, like, basically wrestled Prometheus into his bindings on the top of the mountain. So he's a pretty tough guy. So he single-handedly wrestled Titans and won.
Noted.
Yeah, so is our guy, huh?
Where the hell's this guy been?
Where you been? He begins to walk to the top of the mountain, looking real strong. He also has wings, by the way, angelic wings. Yeah, Thalia and Ouroboros, do you go with Kratos?
I think that I gotta take a moment to kind of like freshen up a little bit, and then she'll go.
Okay. Oh yeah, you like
Powder puff,
That's right.
Don't rush me.
little eyeliner.
I gotta look good for the king.
King. Okay. Better watch out, Ouroboros. You're gonna have a new mom-in-law.
Oh!
Or
Well, she was already like my sister cousin, so
he's technically. No, yeah.
oh wait, no, I'm like
Not
an
now.
uncle. I'm like an uncle or
Not
something.
now.
No, I'm your aunt.
Well, Uranus.
What?
Yeah, she's your aunt.
What the f-
So the castration of Uranus created Aphrodite, which makes Aphrodite basically like a cousin of Kronos, which makes Thalia, as the child of Aphrodite going down the line there, is sort of like on the same generational level as Zeus.
Okay.
It's best not to think about this shit too hard.
Yeah.
They
I've
don't
seen
have
this video before.
They
The
don't-
Olympian family tree is a twisted telephone pole.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
it's
I usually skip this part of the video.
Alright. Ouroboros and a freshened up Thalia will follow Kratos to the top of the mountain. You know what? We're going to deal with that now. And we'll come back to these guys and see what they want to do at the end of their night. I do like the idea of Ouroboros doing like one of these to the elemental. Just like, it's like, come on. And then you're just like, whatever, bro. Alright. To the top of the mountain we go. Whee! It is a long walk up the top of a mountain.
Wait,
Oh, you're gonna be sweating off all that makeup.
we teleport.
You teleport, you leave
Yeah.
Kronos behind? Or Kratos?
Yeah.
Oh, you just leave Kratos behind? It's like... he'll start flying at the mountain, but he's gonna be late.
Go. I've got one more teleport left in me today.
Understood. You will come to the top of the mountain as the sun is setting and twilight begins, where the moon and the sun share the domain of the sky of Zeus himself. And there you are going to find him awaiting you, looking off down at Greece. And he'll turn to the both of you. And he'll say, "Son, Thalia,
Father.
the time is now. You both accepted my offer to become, as we, immortals, gods, remove yourself from the mortal realm to become its great rulers in this domain. I ask you again, and for one final time, is the path of the Olympian your path, or will you choose a mortal life?"
I don't know if I actually was able to say it like 2 games ago, but on the same thread of like my brother and all that stuff, Ouroboros would have said, "Well, I suppose if there isn't a world for my brother to live in, then I will do everything in my power to see that it survives."
He says, "No, Ouroboros. You think like a mortal in this moment. You think of but one who will grow old and will die, just like all the rest. No, you must not think of this decision in terms of one mortal life. You must think of it in terms of all of them. If you are doing this, Ouroboros, do not do it for one. Do it for all. And do it for you, my son. There is no middle ground."
I see.
You can take care of that boy as a mortal, watch his path, help him grow, lead him to his sovereignty, but he will die one day, whether by time or battle. It'll be whether you are alive thereafter.
I will accept the gift of immortality to rid the world of the darkness.
Very well, but I warn you, Ouroboros, for that word is I was born for, grown for. I was taken by Gaia to a cave to be trained, and trained well I was to fight Kronos, and I did. I fought Kronos, I fought his titans and won. I fought their giants who came after and won. I fought the druids who stood against us and won. But then, Ouroboros, there was peace. And you may find peace to be quite a trying challenge. I commend you. You wish for this to fight off evil. But are you willing to take on this responsibility when there is no battles to be won?
If those that cannot defend themselves are properly defended, then I will see my purpose fulfilled.
He nods at you. I turn to Thalia. Says, "You, now, fair Thalia, you maintain immortality, become a god like us for all time, during war, during suffering, defeat, victory, and peace. Will you maintain this for all time?"
Yes, I think of no greater gift than to ascend to godhood and live amongst you and the rest of our family.
So let it be. He will produce the same gold calyx, and he will dip it into the basin in front of him, and dripping off from the side will that be that sort of thick, like pink drink that will fall into the water below, bubble, almost steam, but not a heated steam, but some kind of almost mist that rises from it. And he'll offer the first goblet to you, Ouroboros. My son, drink if you would be an Olympian, and be a mortal no more.
I take the Kylix. And in the, you said it was like a kind of purplish kind of?
Yeah, it's like a bubbling purplish liquid that glows as you hold it underneath you.
Okay. In it, he'll think about all the mortals that brought him to this point, his humble beginnings and where he now stands, and he will grin at the fact that even a slave can be offered the most bountiful of prizes if they are but willing to struggle. And he'll drink it.
You drink long and deep from this purple liquid, and there is no taste like it. It is the taste of, if you could bottle power and grace and long life, this would be it. You drink it deeply and it drinks sweetly. Maybe even a little bitter, but mostly sweet. As it floods into you, you find your body sort of seize. When it seizes again, you drop the Kylix to the ground. It doesn't break or crack or anything. But you feel it flood through your body, through your limbs. And it is warm, but it is cold at the same time, and you feel your very body almost eating itself alive from within your body, and you drop to your knees. You are one who is accustomed to pain, but never like this. A pain that ravages your body as you are being transformed from something mortal, something that can die, into something greater. For there is no greater ascendancy than what you are bearing through now as you grit your teeth that crack under the bite, seam themselves back together as they are not to be broken. You are a god, or becoming one. Your eyes see true, your body becomes more, and in the end, Ouroboros, you rise to your feet, Zeus saying very well, "Good, Ouroboros, rise, for I name you in this moment the Ravager of Olympus. You are the god of pain. Rise."
I'll stand up and just give me a quick I guess a quick I don't know, explanation of like what it's like to open my eyes in this moment and to stand and to feel like in my body.
Absolutely. You rise to your feet as your foot hits the ground. You almost feel like the very earth could tumble underneath your very step. Though you felt it before, you feel it almost metaphysically, like you could unravel all that it is. And as you stand, bear your weight high, it feels both incredibly heavy, but without any difficulty at the same time. You are not just a physical being anymore. You are connected to the wind, the air, the earth, the light. You are connected to all things now. And as you rise, the god of pain, you feel that there's power in that. You feel that you cannot die. You feel your spirit, as it ever was a strong one, is now enduring. For there will never be a time where Ouroboros will be shattered, will be destroyed. It is impossible now for you to be relinquished from this realm. You will always be alive one way or another. For even the spirits that dwell in Elysium can be claimed and destroyed if not taken well care of, but yours will endure for as long as there is a universe to endure with it. You are the stars. You are the earth. You are the pain that will be brought upon your enemies. You are a god now.
And do I look any different?
Yes, you, similar to as you see here, Zeus, he has sort of these like faint markings across his body, glowing of the eyes, and as you open your eyes, Thalia, you would look at him and you would see that Ouroboros' eyes too do glow, much like yours do as an Aesmar. Glow now, and you look around Ouroboros and they hurt, as if they haven't quite reached their potential yet, but you feel like they are beginning to expand, see more. You look down at your body and all these black markings across your body are now accompanied with a second layer of designs that sort of very faintly flood across your stone-like skin, but you are less giant now than you ever were, and your skin is now a peach pale color like that Thalia or Zeus might have. You are gray-skinned no longer. You bear the skin tones of an Olympian now. You are less giant and more god.
Wow. I think he'll just kind of be stunned to speak for a little while he waits for Thalia to do hers.
Yeah, I think quite eager in this moment that I'll step forward.
Zeus will claim the Kylix from the ground. He says, and yet it is not over. He will dip Kylix into the liquid and hand it to Thalia and say, be grace and beauty for all time now, Thalia. Drink and drink deep.
She will try to finish what's in the cup.
You will drink, and you will drink at a certain point. You don't drink quite as mightily as Zeus, or excuse me, Ouroboros might. But you put it back with all of your power, and eventually you will finish the last of the contents, but not before your body begins to sort of writhe and seize and hurt, and as you feel it almost eating itself alive from within, as everything mortal inside of you is dying, and everything divine in you is being empowered, for you are already more god than any mortal who has ever walked the earth. Now you expand and become fully what you are. Any weakness of mortality inside of you is diminished, gone, eaten alive by your divine blood, and replaced entirely. And as you rise, Thalia, you are now eternally grace, eternally beautiful. Your red hair almost seems to iridescently gleam with golden flecks. Your flesh is similarly like your mother, very, very faintly, almost with like water-like tide, almost like liquidy in its appearance. Small, barely perceivable markings across your body, but all the while gold dappled. Your eyes glow brightly, and similar to Ouroboros, they hurt as if at the edge of some greater potential that they need to grow into. And you have evolved into something that is enduring, that will live forever, no matter what happens to your body or form. You are God. You are God of grace. And he says as much. Rise now, Thalia. Rise, Archon of Olympus, God of grace. Let the world know who you are. And he raises his hand and you rise, feeling strength, might, power within your bodies. Ouroboros, I want you to change your subclass. You are no longer Path of the Giant. You are now Path of the Giant Ravenger. And Thalia, you are no longer Divine Soul Sorcerer. You are now Divine... Ooh, I could change something for yours probably. You are Divine Soul Archon now. You need to make some quick adjustments to yours, Thalia, because you're multi-class. But go ahead, Ouroboros. There's a number of new features and abilities that you have acquired with her being God. And I need to make a quick adjustment to yours, Thalia. How many levels of sorcerer do you have?
I have
16. Okay, give me a minute. Hmm. 16. Just gotta go through each one and assign level 16. Just take a second. What do you two do? What are your first words reborn as gods? What happens next?
I think Ouroboros will look over at Thalia in her new form, and he'll say, "That wasn't so bad, right?"
Thalia stands up and is overcome. And in fact, you can see Ouroboros is like, that wasn't so bad, and Thalia's crying. She's like overcome with being turned into a god, and a god of grace at that. And so she'll embrace you, Ouroboros, and give you a big hug and say, I'm so proud of you. You've become more than I could have ever expected.
Yeah, not bad for a slave, right?
You are never destined to be a slave.
Thank you. And as he lingers there, you know, his hand like kind of rubbing your back and just kind of marveling at how your hair just feels in its grasp. He'll just shake it off and kind of disengage the hug, and he'll look to his father and he'll
Smile,
say,
looking upon you both.
"What is our next step, father?"
Simply continue. Win this war for us. Begin to understand what it is to be gods as you go, though. And know that your place is here on Mount Olympus. You are immortal no longer. Your mortal families, your mortal friends, though you may peer in from time to time, I assume, this is your home realm now, for gods were not meant to walk among men. Not for very long. Embrace your new role. Fight strong, and know that as time progresses, you will gain powers beyond what you feel even now, but not for a long time. For gods are long-lived, and their powers are acquired over a great time. Soon enough, however, I have no doubt there will be temples erected in both of your honor, if you perform well in this war, as I assume you will, much like my son Hercules.
Some might even say better.
Good, Ouroboros. Very good. Go. Revel. Laugh, make merry, drink. You earned it. From this day forth, you are more potent, more powerful than you have ever been.
Thank you, father. Mainly for believing in me.
He will approach you, and in the way gods do, he will sort of become small to your appearance, and even smaller to you now, even ever so slightly, in this medium form, barely, but so. And put his hand on your shoulder and says, I never doubted you, Ouroboros, where your heart lay. For you are a god more than any giant, and I never doubted it. I see myself in you more than most of my children. You are mighty. You know what it is to have pain, and you know what it is to exact it upon your foes. So let us reshape this world together, son.
Let us do as such.
He'll look to Thalia and say, and you, Thalia, your grace now forever immortalized. There is much to be gained from such things, gifts of beauty, gifts of love. Teach this world what it means to have grace. Teach us what it means to have grace. And be proud.
I hope to do you justice, Zeus.
You already have that. Now you should go down below. For the gods are waiting expectantly to greet their new godlings. A private party for you two alone. Come. You should greet them as you are reborn. And sure enough, if you two wish to follow, you'll make your way down the stairs, not terribly far, and enter to the throne room once more, where all the gods are still reveling and gathered. But as they turn to the door, as you two both enter within, a great call of excitement will burn through all of the gods as they will revel and laugh and greet you all as equals. Mostly equals, depending. But certainly welcome in these halls, not as a pawn, but as a true player on the board, one to be respected. They all greet you. Thalia, your mother, takes you in her embrace, and she looks at you and says, Thalia, you've never been so beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
I can't believe that this will be forever. And she kind of like looks at her hand. I only ever wanted to be like you, and now I'm closer than ever.
Yes, you are. And I will have great need of you, Thalia. I can't do all of this by myself. Cupid's wonderful, but it'll be good to have you too. The domain of love will be better for you.
So, does this mean I get to move in?
There is a war to be won, but yes, I have no doubt that temples will be erected in your honor here on the mountain and down below.
I can't wait.
And she'll smile and she'll talk to you and explain to you that, like, as time goes on and your worship grows, more power will be brought to you. She'll say that, she'll also tell you that you might become the god of other things too in the future if you so choose. That these domains you've been assigned by Zeus are at the bare bones what you are, but much like Apollo, who at first was the god of the sun, expanded into archery and music and poetry. And just like you might decide to gain other portfolios as you go. And the same thing will be explained to you, Ouroboros, as you are meted and greeted by many here and there. Notably, Hera is not present, or at least wallflowering with a nasty look on her face. But many of the gods will explain this to you, Ouroboros. Hercules will be like, "There you are, little brother!" And he'll like grab your head and try and give you one of those, but he's like, "Oh, look at you, strong now. Strong as any god."
Well, brother, I always looked up to you. Even when I didn't know you were my brother.
Good to hear. As you should. As you should. Now, come on, let's fight. Let's do it. Come on.
We can do this right now. Right
Yeah,
now.
let's wrestle. Come on. Come on. And you guys will like wrestle a bit. And unfortunately, I have to say, Ambrosia, he is the god of strength. He may be the god of pain. But I will say, in the course of this wrestling match, you're going to learn something about your new divine body. Is that the more he pushes you down, and like the more he strains your muscles, the more pain you feel, the more powerful you become, and the more you're able to push back. You're like the Hulk now. The more angry you get, the more pain you feel, the more powerful you will become. And as you look at your features, you will now have pain points to gather.
Ah.
Well, you know what? I will put it forth. I will explain the features that you guys have gained. You can read them for yourselves, but I think it's fun because I'm sure everyone else wants to know too. If you two are okay with that, unless you want them to be kept on the down low.
Nah, sure, you can tell mine.
It can be on the DL. Pain points just sound sick as hell. That's all. I was just nice.
So both of you have achieved epic levels, which is like god levels in this game. Both of you have gained a number of features. Oh, and I have to say, both of you need to update your hit points manually, because you have gained another hit dice, but that won't be included here, because this is like level 21 for all intents and purposes.
Okay.
So Um,
Were we level 20 before?
no, you're 19.
Okay.
How many? So, do we just add 2 hit die?
You do your con modifier plus you can roll the dice if you want or take the average, it's your choice.
Okay.
But you would adjust that in the character builder. You just go to manual hit points and add. For you, Thalia, it would be, you have a 6 dice, so it would be 4 plus 2, so you get 6 extra hit points.
Okay, but twice because it's 2 levels.
No, only the 1, because you're level 19.
Over level 21
No, you're level 19 with these additional features. Just that's the way to think about it. And Ouroboros, I believe you gained 7 plus your con modifier in hit points to your maximum. But anyway, these are the features you gained. You get a new saving throw you get to pick, a new proficiency in saving throw. You've gained, as I said, another hit dice. You have gained a new ability score increase, so you may take another feat in ASI. Your ability scores maximums have increased to 30. So Ouroboros, you could take 22 in strength. With Thalia, you could take 22 in charisma. You have also gained the immortality feature, which means a number of things. You cannot be aged by any means other than a deific power. Your soul can never be destroyed by any circumstances or means. It is indestructible. And lastly, if you die, you can use your reaction to use an ability called Immortal Rising, which grants you full hit points again, you stand up. Lastly, you both gain separate features. Thalia, you now have, I believe the feature is called, it's like magic blood or something like that, sorcerer's blood, or
Arcane Life.
Arcane Lifeblood, that's the one, which means that you can now funnel sorcery points to create new spells up to the 8th level instead of just 5th now.
Oh shit.
Ouroboros, you gain 2 new features. You gain the pain points ability, which means that every time you take an instance of 20 points of damage or more, you gain a pain point. For every pain point, you gain a number of benefits. And those only last until your rage ends or you take a rest. They are as follows. You gain, equal to your pain points, a bonus to attack rolls based on strength, strength-based saving throws, and strength-based ability checks. You get like a flat bonus based on how many pain points you got.
Okay.
And lastly, you have, I think it's called Unbridled Strikes or something like that. And basically,
overpowering strikes, yeah.
Overpowering strikes, which means that you do maximum damage whenever you hit someone with a strength-based attack at advantage. So you do perfect damage every time.
Nice.
Ryan,
Yep.
my ASI is not translating up here, and I also lost access to the cleric spells.
Maybe you have to re-add them because you picked a new ASI or a new ability score.
I know they fell off my spell list. And
Put on your sorcerer spell list anymore?
yeah, they all fell off, and they're not on here anymore.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, my ASI isn't working either. I don't think.
Your ASI? What do you mean?
Yeah, my ASI isn't working. Like, it's not adding to charisma.
Okay, I gotta go back and fix them up, I guess. I think,
Just add them.
or yeah, you can just add it manually.
Yeah.
But you might need to hit refresh, Thalia, because I just updated all of your stuff to match your sorcerer level. We'll work on it, but
Really cool, man.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's super, super good.
I don't know, your thing might be because it's like, I don't know, some of the homebrew stuff doesn't let you do normal things. But I'll look into it, I'll try and fix it. Okay. Sweet, is there... So yeah, you guys are reveled, and I'll say that all of you down below, as we're going to transfer back down to Silenos, Alicia, and Gyasi. You hear the gods rumbling, partying, and celebrating up on the high mountain. Just having a great time and seem to be madly celebrating in dance and in drink and in laughter. Something that you were not invited to. Maybe you
That's
can.
okay.
That's okay. You might be able to discern what that may be by.
I'm gonna try to tip over the tea kettle, Ryan. Gyasi's a thief.
It's true.
Zeus has dosed them and left. I'm gonna go break into his place to steal it for myself.
Okay, you're gonna try and break into the temple of Zeus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you take off, fly up the high mountain as you think you knew what happened, and it burns you with anger. You find your way to the very tippy top of the mountain, where it is certainly not guarded at this time, as all of the gods would be present to laugh and celebrate with Thalia and Ouroboros. Perhaps you even, well, maybe a stealth check to see if you can, it's not going to be very hard, as you just, not need to go by a window or something, but, let's do it anyway. 27. Yeah, you're going to get a certain bonus because, you're not going near anybody specific, but as you pass by and you go up higher, you will find your way to Olympus, where these people are not here, and his temple is unattended. You approach the doors. They don't really use locks here in the divine realm of Mount Olympus. How do you intend to enter into his temple?
Therein lies an excellent
I think it would be pretty funny if the gods used padlocks for their doors.
I'm gonna utilize my apportation. It lets me teleport 30 feet.
Okay.
I doubt the door's 30 feet thick.
It is not. It is definitely not. Does your teleportation specify you to see where you're going?
Let me scroll down and give it a full read. Ethereal Jaunt is a bonus action. You can magically teleport up to 30 feet into any unoccupied space you can see. Okay, so I've got to be able to see it. I'm assuming the door is seamless.
The door's pretty seamless, yeah. This is not... These places were constructed by Hephaestus. These are the finest built places one could imagine.
Same. Mental force of glory. That's how I'll do it.
All right.
I'm going to bring my familiar, because my familiar can come back to any space within 30 feet of me. I don't have to see it. It just has to be unoccupied.
All right.
I will then utilize the familiar senses to see the spot, and then I will ethereal jaunt.
Got it. Okay, so you have been in here before. You find yourself in this grand hall, this grand home that is filled with the flickering magics of lightning, massive statues of various gods, certainly featuring himself, but egotistical. Like the echo of sound here almost seems to reverberate extra as you wander through in this very great hall of storms. What do you do?
When we were here and we had that discussion, there was a cup and a font.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to look for.
Okay. I want you to make me an investigation check. I almost want to say make it your familiar's check, and you can give it advantage because you're kind of like looking through its eyes and trying to like help it.
Okay. Well, my familiar is just acting as my eyes to give me the place to teleport that I can see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the actual search.
Okay, got it. You're just looking through it so that you can teleport in there.
Yes.
No problem.
Yes, I will be doing all of the B&E.
Understood. I'm with you now. Yeah. So your familiar appears within, looks around, and you appear in next to your familiar. Absolutely. You are now inside of his hall and see many of the features and chambers within.
Okay. B&E.
Yep. What are you going for? There's lots going on in here. I can start describing some of it to you.
I'm looking for
You want the Ambrosia.
the calyx and the font.
Okay. Yeah, make me that investigation check. Absolutely.
$27.
Where's the kitty? I hear a cat.
27. You look around and you see much, my friend, and you might see more, so I'm just going to give them to you for potential shenanigans, but you are going to find what you see. There is a big, beautiful mosaic floor. There's a throne of Zeus's, which he has talked to you in, this throne of gold, electrum, decorated with eagle motifs and lightning bolts, radiating power. There is, oh, hello, honey. There are statues of the various oracles and seers of the real world, heroic demigods of great legend. Actually, your party and members of your party would be amongst this, these statues he would have had added to his hall of heroes, as it were. Lifelike in appearance, including yourself. Ethereal flames that burn blue, trophies of past battles, weapons, armor, trophies of heroes and past battles. You find the sanctum of the thunderbolts, where you see a pedestal where the lightning bolt sits, emanating with power. And sure enough, in that very same chamber, you find tucked away, not tucked away, actually quite on display, is the calyx and how much? Enough ambrosia to fill the calyx 2 more times. Or sorry, 3 more times, my apologies. It's there for the taking. You take it?
Yes.
All right. The ambrosia is held in a much larger sort of, I don't want to say a vat, but like a decorated pot, where it bubbles, and the calyx is much smaller and empty currently. you can certainly easily enough take the Kylix and take it with you. That much is easy. How do you intend to transport what would be essentially like a gallon of ambrosia? How do you intend to transport that?
That it's an awfully good. Actually, I know exactly how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a dose for me, and then I'm going to place and drink it there on the spot.
Oh shit!
I will refill it, the calyx again. I will lean on my bloodline and summon the speedy courier.
Right.
I will place the calyx in the courier and send it to Silenos.
Okay. Whew. All right, you do so. So I don't have your stuff created, but I will tell you, you're going to still get your things, and I'll tell you what you get.
This was a game time. Wait,
Yeah.
my father is the god of thieves. I got a lot of rogue.
Absolutely, let's play it. So, you drink at Gyasi, and in this moment you're racked with pain as all things mortal inside you perish in demise, and you flood with godly power in this moment, and stand up from the floor, awaken to new power. The black cloak of your fur is now sheened with various small designs that sort of are iridescent to the light. Your eyes hurt with potential power, and your body is filled with great strength. I'm going to tell you what abilities you have gained. This is going to be certainly an interesting portion of the mythology. Creating legends, man.
Go big or go home.
Go big or go home, damn right.
Oh, what the hell am I gonna do now?
I know, and yeah.
Poof.
Okay, you are going to gain
A guy drops off a box.
Yeah.
You're going to gain the following benefits here, Gyasi, and I will make them for you in due time. You gain an ability score increase, and a feat. You are going to gain a saving throw. You're going to gain a hit dice. You are going to gain immortality feat, as I previously described. Your soul cannot be destroyed. You cannot be aged except by beatific means, and you cannot have. And if you die in combat, you can use a reaction to come back to full hit points and whatnot. And you also gain the power. You also gain an ability called Cheap Shot. You're able to strike with unrivaled cunning. Once per turn, when you make a weapon attack against a creature, you may add either your intelligence, wisdom, or charisma modifier to the attack and damage rolls.
Awesome.
You get the speedy courier appears before you. This spirit of messenger god who looks around and goes, "Oh no, oh no, I shouldn't be here." And you hand it to him, and he's like, "Oh no!" And he's compelled by the spell, and he flies out of there at wicked speed. Meanwhile, down the mountain, Silenos, what are you up to after Gyasi and everybody left?
Thalos is pretty bummed. He's got to kind of pick between two families, and one of his families is excluding him. So I think he would be somewhere in just like a field, just kind of sitting. Yeah, like maybe back there, just under the night, not really around anything, just, yeah.
Yeah, not in the party, you haven't been included, and maybe you know why, maybe you don't, what has transpired here, and why it's a celebration for them, and not you, and you have a decision to make, and maybe you want to be a part of the party, maybe you don't, maybe you, it doesn't matter, because in this moment, appearing before you is this small, almost chibi-like angel, holding a box, who's looking at you like, here, just take it. and he'll vanish away, and you'll be holding this box. You're like, that's weird. And as you open it up, you look inside, and you're hit by that purple glowing light as you look in and see what you know to be Ambrosia, the elixir of godhood. In the Kilix of Zeus that he once bore.
Yeah, I think Silenos will take it out, and he will just put it on like the lawn in front of him. He'll like pat down the grass, put it carefully on the lawn in front of him. You can't really. Can I actually, before that little like creature goes away, can I use speak with animals as a spell?
Sure.
Cool. Just hey, I'm sorry. I know you're Gyasi's kind of familiar, but can you get a message to the gods for me, please?
Oh, that's true. It's we did flavor that it's usually your cat, right? Gyasi does. So yeah, your cat would have handed over and still had this look of like, and you, what do you say to him?
I need to speak with the gods. Artemis and Zeus.
Okay, you want me to go get him?
Now.
Okay. And she starts, because having lost the power of Speedy Courier in this moment, it just becomes a cat again. And starts like as quick as a cat can, start like prancing along, making its way up Mount Olympus. And we'll see how long it takes for her to get there. Fuck, I did not see this session going this way.
No, and then for the next little while, Silenos is just gonna sit with the Kilix in front of him. And
the worst part is I'm gonna have to resummon her to get out of here because I still don't have the key to the door.
She's going as fast as she can, and then I imagine probably around this point vanishes.
Yep.
And then reappears outside of the temple door. Is going. He's like, and then you appear, Gyasi, and she looks up at you, and you hear within your mind basically the intention of what Silenos had asked for, and says, "I'm gonna. Silenos wanted me to go ask his mom and the king of the gods to go talk to him, and I was supposed to go do that. Should I still go do that?"
Why don't you hang out? I'll send them a message.
Okay, whatever you want, Gyasi. This is okay.
And walking. Hell no, I'm flying away from the scene of the crime. But I will make a sending to Artemis that your son would like to see you at your convenience.
All right. You get a response back that simply says, "Very well." And we'll come back to the lawn where Silenos, as the sun fully meets its end at the horizon, there will be a streak of moonlight, and Artemis will arrive through it. And she'll look at you and say, "Silenos, and she'll see the ambrosia in your hands.
It's not in my hands. It's on the lawn in front of me. But as she comes towards me, I'll stand up.
She still sees it, is the point.
No, definitely.
Yeah, she sees it, and there's definitely a look of like shock and WTF on her face. And she goes, "What's going on, Silenos?"
This wasn't my doing.
I believe.
I've been offered from the King of Kings himself.
I was aware. We were all made aware of this offer. We spoke at length of this. But I'm surprised to see you with it here, and not in Zeus's And she just kind of looks at it, she kind of trails off. She's a little overwhelmed by just that you seem to just have it, which is very strange to her.
Yeah, I think Silenos will he'll look at the Killix down and he'll just say, I am of good heart, and I know that with this Killix in front of me. I fear that the offer was only ever made because of fear. That. And I will have you know, I will not leave Nyx.
You will not leave Nyx.
I will not turn my back on the unknown, the unseen, for I can see all now. And though you are my mother, who knows I exist? You are the virgin goddess. There are tales of me, but for me to accept that offer, you must accept me to Greece and the world.
Have I not already? I've made you my champion on the mortal world. Such an honor is not reserved by many.
Then tell the world of my father, of his tales, his music, the horrors that you gods did in wrath. Let it be a lesson that is learned, not only here. He does not only belong in the stars. He does not deserve to be unknown.
She certainly looks uncomfortable at the situation. You are aware of the story and how it's something that she struggles with. And she says, you would have me make the tale of your father known. And your repayment is that you would become a god like us and turn from Nyx.
Merely I could be the bridge between Nyx and the gods. I know you yourself and Apollo and even the King of Kings himself fear her and it. But for some reason, it has an interest with me, and that can either be an asset or I can go and just act upon her will.
She sort of thinks to herself, and that sort of gentleness that she's had around you sort of goes away, and her eyes sort of look up at you in that sort of hunter stare that you've seen her do when she's like locking on to prey. And she says, do you know why the gods fear Nyx, the god of shadow and darkness and all ends, all things?
Enlighten me.
For that very reason. End. No more. Nyx's path leads to nothing, to all things. All gods are damned to die. All mortals will be gone, and this world will be brought to nothing. If too much darkness spreads through the world, there will be no gods or titans. There will be no land to fight over. There will be no primordials even. All things will return to nothing, not even chaos, just nothing. You may walk this path, Silenos, if you wish, but we gods are beings of light. We are beings of radiance. We are beings that fight against the tide of end. We keep this world spinning. the beasts in their forests, the land under our feet, the oceans at their shores. We fight against the end of all things. That is the purpose of all gods. You
I
cannot
don't
be...
mean. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I would just say I don't mean to be a beacon of the end. I mean to be the bridge between the light and dark. What of the drow, where your moonlight cannot reach? Or the children like Katara, forgotten, thrown off the cliff? I will be there for the unknown, the unseen. And that doesn't have to be a finality, but there are those who must be brought to an end. And if that be my godly domain, I would embrace it. But to make an enemy out of darkness for Olympus's sake, I do not wish to do this.
You think we wish to make an enemy of darkness?
For me to turn my back on her would be. On it would be.
Then you do not understand darkness, Silenos. Silenos, darkness is nothing. It cares for nothing, wants for nothing. You speak of Katara being thrown from the mountaintop. Was darkness there to pad her fall? No. It was Hades who sent her on to Hecate, who sent her on to the mortal realm once more so she might take vengeance. With darkness, with absence, with nothing, there is no mercy. There is no saving. There is just end. Darkness should be a tool and nothing more. To make it more, to venerate it, is to bring about apocalypse.
I don't think of it as veneration, more so acknowledgement and appreciation. I can take your offer, but I fear what it might bring. What processes may not end.
She looks down at the Ambrosia, and she looks back up at you. She says, I'd fear it too. I don't know what makes you think that Zeus would invite darkness into his family. Invite him into his court. Why he would invite that which might bring an end to all things. Why would he want someone to embody that in the world?
I fear that if I do not understand the power of the end, someone may try and connect with it in a more malicious way. And perhaps that's the case, but that may be something we need to contend with. The fates are unsure themselves.
And that should tell you something. The fates, even the fates, who have more power of divination than even my brother Apollo, even they do not know where it leads. For there is nowhere to lead. It is... Silenos, you have sought, and you have sought well. So be that. If you must be a god, be a seeker god, be something. Be a god of something that exists, something palpable, not a god of nothingness, of end. If you wish to seek mercy for the innocent, then be a god of protection, be a god of such things, but do not resign yourself to nothing and darkness. Do not do this. You must make a choice. There is much in the world, Silenos, that you could make the world benefit from. You have kindness. You have mercy. Be the god of these things. For I fear there isn't a place for a god of darkness in this court, in this world.
Thank you. I'll consider the offer. And I'll just leave the Killix on the lawn and walk away.
She will, as you walk away, she'll walk towards the Killix, sort of like watching you as you go, like a, I don't know, like a creature she is preying upon. As you walk away, she leans down low and takes the Killix full of ambrosia and will drink deep of it until it's gone. And then kind of keep the Killix and will sort of ascend into a bolt of moonlight. What are you doing, Gyasi?
I'm headed back to the bathhouse to my room. I'm waiting for the 5-0 to show up because I probably can't get away from them. So eventually they'll show up.
I gotta say, Gyasi, as you get there and you sit there and you wait for the 5-0 to show up, you can't help but be reminded of a story in mythology of your people. A god called Prometheus who took fire and magic down from the gods and handed it to mortals. And how it did not end up very well for that individual. But no one can deny that you are a god now. You wait. For not too long, I would imagine. You would hear outside the rumblings of the clouds below and actually, I'll go to Ouroboros and Thalia for this, because this is sort of your party and everything is going well, and there's banter, and you guys are about an hour into just like talking with the gods, and like each of you, like Apollo and Ares and these gods who have treated you like they're inferior, come up to you and sort of welcome you and welcome you proudly and hug you and make merry with you. And you know, though you are not one of the 12 Olympians, you are an Olympian regardless. And that carries weight.
Full swing.
Yeah, you guys, you know, you're lesser gods, but you are gods. And in the throes of this, you know, Artemis disappears at one point, and maybe about 20 minutes later, she returns in a hurried step and finds her way to the throne of Zeus, where he sort of watches the party with a soft smile on his face, as if he's enjoying the scene, enjoying the camaraderie between his children. And Artemis sort of approaches the bottom of the steps. And I gotta say, the gods are not very subtle. Artemis approaches the bottom of the steps and look up to him. He looks down at Artemis and says, "What is it, Artemis?" She says, "Father, Zeus, the Ambrosia, it's been stolen." And he looks at her with like furrowed brow, and the party sort of stops and turns, and everyone hears this declaration through the hall. Zeus sort of, "What do you mean the Ambrosia's been taken? Who would take it?" She goes,
There's this one guy.
and Zeus is connecting the dots. Other people in the room are very quickly connecting the dots. And he looks at Artemis and says, "How do you know, Artemis?" She says, "I was sent by Gyasi to my son who had the ambrosia in his hands. And he spoke of darkness, as he always has." And he goes, "Do you believe your son took it?" She goes, "It is possible. He is so very connected to darkness. I wish it wasn't so, but he had it in his hands. And And Zeus says no. We must ask them all. We must ask these druids. We must ask any who stand here on Olympus who do not bear divine blood. Bring forth the rest of the Demithots and the druids, for they will meet the charges.
As soon as he says that, I look over at Thalia like,
Plus one, man.
I give her a fist bump like,
We snuck in.
Yeah, you guys did sneak in. You guys
we made it, dog. We made it.
fucking made it, baby.
Meanwhile, Gyasi's walking in a little extra shy.
Campaign was nice while it lasted.
Should we?
Ouroboros and Thalia will hold up the rest of it. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Thalia. So when they come in, do you want to have like a scornful look on your face, like the gods do, or do you want to be like their friend and stuff?
I've been practicing looking down my nose, so.
Ooh. Okay. I'll try.
Keep working on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think Thalia's taking this maybe near as seriously as she should.
No, you guys aren't.
No, we're definitely not.
And to be clear, you look around, like, not every god is taking this miraculously seriously either. Like Dionysus is off in the corner, like, cackling with Apollo, probably, and Hera's looking quite happy. She's like, alright, get these assholes out of here.
Yeah, because in Ouroboros' mind at least, and I assume Thalia's too, we're kind of thinking like, they would not steal the Ambrosia. Like, our friends would not do that.
Meanwhile, Thalia's like, oh yeah, they would.
One of them did.
Twice on Tuesday.
I'm pretty sure my first session I stole something like immediately.
This is different.
It's not the same. Shut up. Alright, let's prepare the hall for shenanigans. And by shenanigans, I mean punishment. Thalia, Ouroboros.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
Thalia, Ouroboros, where would you two wish to take position in the hall? The gods find their seats here and there. Where do you decide to plant yourselves?
Can I stand, like, behind and to the right of my mother?
Yes, you can. She would be happy to invite you as such. New to Olympus, you may stand at her side.
Is there like a kid stool next to the throne that I can sit next to Zeus?
Well, Zeus has his cupbearers at his side. Hebe, who is Hercules' wife, and a rather attractive-looking young man who named Ganymed, who is a cupbearer as well. You would have seen them throughout the course of your time here, serving wine. Probably served you wine, in fact. If you want to take a position beside Zeus, you can.
I think I want to be. Who's in that empty seat? To Zeus's. It would be Zeus's right, but to the left.
Poseidon's throne.
Poseidon. Okay.
He's a little tied up at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. Put me where it makes narrative sense.
You could either, you see Thalia being welcome to stand beside Aphrodite. You could see if your father would be willing for such a thing as well. But you see that the lesser gods do take position up in the balconies.
Up in the nosebleed seats.
Basically.
I'll approach Father and I'll ask, Father, if it is one of my own that are to be judged this evening, may I stand at your side?
He looks at you and he says, if I would have your support, then you may stand at my side.
And
you will.
What did you say, Ouroboros?
And you will.
Make a persuasion check or a deception check, depending. Which is it?
I'm not telling you. I don't know what to tell you shit. No, but it's a persuasion.
Okay.
24.
Zeus looks at you and nods, and offers to his right, where you may stand next to him. Where would you? Yeah, he'd have you stand sort of here. Or no, he'll have you stand at his right side, like his right hand.
Yeah.
With that, all of you are to be summoned. Various gods will disperse to try and gather you in great number from these lesser gods. Let's see, who's going where? Katara appears, we're not too worried about that. Deimios, Deimios, Phobos, and Metis, Deimios and Phobos, we'll just say those two. Those two show up for you, Silenos. And they'll say, "You have been summoned by the gods, come now."
I'll just say.
You're like, okay. They're like, oh.
No, I won't. I'll just like nod my head and just follow wherever they're going. Or if they want to take my hands, I'll give my hands. Or
No, they're not like imprisoning you.
Yeah.
Like they're like, come with us, and you go with them, and you expect, and you sense immediate severity in their voice, and they're like a little bum that you don't fight them, but it's fine, whatever. I'm not pissed off.
that's all right. Don't feel like killing gods today.
You're trying to live, you know?
They look at each other and they're like,
he's
they're
a
like-
Giga Chad.
they're like, all right, he's pretty cool. You're like, who else do we have? Who else is gonna go hunting? Oh yeah, we got Hercules here now. There's gonna be you hear it coming, Gyasi. There's a approaching your door, and the door. And Hercules is like, oops. And he'll put his club over his shoulder. He'll be accompanied by a number of other gods, and he'll look at you and be like, "Hey, you're looking pretty good."
I assume that there's been a summons.
You assume right. How did you know?
Call it keen instinct.
I get why they like you. All right, let's get going.
Okie dokie.
Guys, I didn't even do anything, and I'm not going to be able to talk my way out of this. Gyasi's going to talk his way out of this.
Oh no,
You
Gyasi has no charisma skills, none.
I'm gonna have to talk our way out of this, for God's sakes, probably.
Oh no, you did absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
That's not what they're gonna think.
it's true.
Yeah, but they'll be able to prove it. And
Like
the worst
Proof.
part
They
is,
need proof.
I'll just tell them the truth. Because that's it.
It was obviously the
Alicia.
druids.
We're going to come to you for a minute, Alicia, because there would have been, a little talk before what happens next happens. So, Alicia, you and Valerie are waiting around for Ian Warren, and he does...
Before Ian One came, I imagined, just to fool around, I was wrestling with the water elemental as a bear, just to fool around.
Yeah, you're like splashing, and it's just like standing there, like just like splashing it like it's a wave, and it's like, what? And eventually, and Valerie's off to the side, looking a little bit more anxious. But eventually, Ian Warren comes down the steps. This would have been shortly after Ouroboros and Thalia and Silenos would have gone their separate ways, and Gyasi. Very shortly after, so while the twilight was still happening. And he comes down the steps, and Valerie approaches and gives him a big hug. She says, "How did it go? Is Ian Warren, is everything okay?" And he goes, "Yes, I think everything's going real well. It's good to see you two."
I get out of the bear, I crawl out of the pool, shake off, dismiss the elemental, and shift back in after and shake off, and I turn back into a human.
Yep.
Shift or whatever. Yeah.
He says, "How are you two? Know what happened to your staff, Felicia? It looks a little cooked up."
Yes. I gifted it. The burning flame offered to improve our weapons as a reward for freeing Zeus and I thought it'd be rude to reject a gift, so this is what it is now. It's not aesthetically, I know it's a little bit off, but I think it will work very well.
Well, as long as you feel comfortable and you feel it's wise, sure. I mean, I'm ain't no boss of you. It looks a little, well, like you say, appearances aren't everything. Valerie says, "Well, anyway, what's with the, what happened? What did you talk about? Did anything happen?" He goes, "Yeah, we got to talking, and he's a very interesting individual. He's older than I am, surely, my senior, and he had plenty of wisdom to share, and I tried to share him a little bit of mine. He's an interesting fellow. We come from a place where there's a lot of peace and harmony, and he comes from a place where there's a lot of war and pain, and it's two very different worlds coming together."
So you didn't come to blows, so that's a good sign at least.
No, I don't. I don't think I think he's more curious than ready to attack, which is a good sign. Some people are ready to fight, and it wouldn't have lasted very long. I expect I wouldn't have even gotten that door if you wanted to fight. But we talked for a while, and he had much to say about the gods and what's next for them and what's next for us. And I expect that this is going to take a while before we can come to any sort of partial agreement. We're all very long-lived people and have very strong opinions, and well, we'll see where things go. But I think we had a very good first conversation, getting to understand one another, maybe.
Oh, good. That's good to hear. Well, a tree doesn't grow overnight, that's for sure.
Valerie goes, "That was really, that's good. I'm going to use that. Tree doesn't grow overnight." But something bad must have happened. I mean, it's the sky tyrant. What happened that was bad, Ian Moore? And he goes, I don't wish to speak poorly of anyone. Valerie goes, "Just tell us." I was, "Okay."
Valerie, calm down.
Don't need to raise your voice. It's all right. Well, very well. I mean, he was a little, in his way, he lives up to his name. He was a very threatening individual. But I tried to steer us from any sort of trades, and I think it went very well. But I know he feels like he's in a position of power, and that isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's not always easy to talk to a fellow who thinks things aren't going their way. So I was able to use it to I think make good conversation. But he seems to think that he's got his finger on the edge of his pommel or something. So that wasn't too great. He goes, "You asshole." He goes, "Oh, well, no need for foul language, Valerie. There's no need for foul language." And you guys talk a bit, and he talks about the conversation, and how Ian Warren has a respect for the Sky Tyrant. He says, he's been through a lot of war, a lot of fights, and he's got a very difficult cards he's been dealt, and a very compassionate individual towards Zeus's situation. But before you get to the end of the conversation, a great number of, maybe like 5 or 6 gods, probably 6 or 7, in fact, gods will emerge before you, led by, including Zeus's retinue. But Nemesis will step to the front with her sword bared, and she'll say, "Druids of the other worlds, you have been summoned to the hall of the gods, and you will come with us now."
I give the others a look and say, "Very well."
Imor goes, well, thank you for the invitation. We'll be right along then. She goes, "You shall come with us now. There will be no delay." He goes, "Oh, wow, I understand completely. Why don't we go see what seems to be the issue?" And he'll get up and calmly as can be go with them.
like I whisper Valley, how does he still so calm all the time?
No, nothing rattles his cage. It's so weird. When I was a little girl, I actually lit his house on fire just to see if I could get a rise out of him, but it didn't do anything.
It was like yeah, I remember that. I remember yeah, I remember that. That was fun. I remember you told me that story. It was hilarious.
Well,
Yeah, it was
what
pretty- it
goes
was
up
pretty
must
funny.
come down.
Mm.
He goes, well, it was an old tree anyway.
Okay.
As Gaia commands it to be.
I remember when I jumped out of the woods as a wolf at you trying to scare you. You didn't flinch at all.
Oh, I know. When it comes to like you could do any beast and it won't do anything. I turned into a T-Rex once and tried to like scare the shit out of him. Nothing.
Nothing. It's nuts.
Nothing. He just kind of smiled and asked how I was doing. He knew it was me too. I don't know how he knew it was me.
Okay,
Anyway.
let's keep going. I know. I'm gonna check the gods. Like, what is it? I'm gonna ask them. Has something gone wrong?
They don't answer you. They see the most they do is they like turn to you and snarl and look at you with distrust and anger.
Can I roll in? Can I try to sum up what it might have been, or if I could figure out, is this something involving us directly, or
No insight check required because looking back, I don't think you have any context to align the dots. But I will simply say that something bad has probably happened, and they either want to pin it on you or it involves you. It's probably what you're thinking. You're like the best you can do is guess. There's no insight check to like get a firm answer, but all you can do is speculate.
the guy give a very look like, you're ready for this, I guess.
I was like, am I ready for this? Are you ready for this? Look at your staff, it's on fire.
I feel like I'll be fine. Just calm down.
Watch, it's the cursed flame. He's probably gonna snap his fingers and it's all gonna fall apart.
Just try to remain calm.
And you guys will walk up the stairs, and now we come to the big finale. What? I don't know what to call it. You guys, you see
We
the
got
god.
it before halftime.
Yeah, right. We're not even at halftime yet. All of you are gathered before the gods. They are many of them, most of them, look quite severe. Silenos, you approach, you see their severity. You're the first one into the hall. You see the severity of the many of the gods, and your mother looks at you with like similar uncertainty as she did before. The druids are brought in next. Most of them look fairly confused, except for Ian Warren, who just has a very like pleasant look on his face. And
Ouroboros wants to be beside his dad.
I got
he's
deleted.
beside his dad. Oh, where are you? There you are.
What
You're
the
just on-
fuck?
You're on the lair for some reason.
He's hiding.
Oh, you don't want to be by my dad. I miss my dad. Katara comes in and she's like, I don't know what's going on, but it sounds very exciting. And the druids are brought in, all except Ian Warren, probably looking very uncertain of the situation. And last but not least, you are going to see, escorted in by Hercules and Ouroboros and Thalia and the rest of the gods. There's a little bit of like a, oh my gosh, so like as Gyasi enters the hall, there's absolutely like an exclamation from the gods as he enters, and you see that he is sort of divinely marked. His eyes do glow, and his form seems that much more connected with all divine things, and is brought into the front just like everyone else.
What?
Artemis looks both shocked and relieved at the same time somehow. And Zeus says, well, I don't think much need be investigated. Sometimes answers simply answer themselves. Questions simply answer themselves. Why don't we start with you then, Gyasi? You seem to have grown in power. And for the context of all, you have been brought forth, for Ambrosia has been stolen from my temple. I thought the thief might have been you, Silenos, and perhaps it may still be. But one of you has drunk of it without consent. So speak forward, Gyasi. Explain yourself if you can before I make my judgment.
First, I am here. I could have left, and I did not. 2, did you not train and draw your power from Gaia? Were you not gifted the ability to slay titans by the Mother of Earth? Did I not witness your avarice ever so slightly here when contemplating that font of power? I represent balance. I am the watcher. You asked us if we wished a boon. I requested it. We discussed it. But the reality is, you are a king. You are someone who has taken power through right of might and will to set the stage for all of Greece and all of the Olympians, as is your right. I am the watcher. I stand at the horizon between spaces to make sure things stay in their place. I don't wish you harm. In fact, I wish you well. I wish the Titans to where they need to be. I wish all things to the place that they need to be. This was not a power that, in all honesty, you weren't going to grant by your own hand. Not to me. Not under the proviso that I presented. But somebody immortal needs to stand in that space. You took your power, in part from Gaia. I have taken a small part of that back at her behest. I serve as the watcher. Nothing more. No one else knew that I was to do it. In fact, even after our discussion today, I was not convinced that I could or should. But as I thought onto it, and I thought onto the nature of kings, and I thought onto the nature of gods and power, it occurs to me that no god, no king would step away from power. No warrior would step away from war. Conflict will arise. That is the nature of warriors and kings. But someone has to watch and make sure that balance remains. Someone needs to watch. And when things go too far, someone needs to be in a position to act. Much as you took power and imprisoned the Titans the first go to bring yourself to power and full, I have done the same. Am I proud of it? Am I lauding it? No. It was a necessity. If you absolutely feel that punishment is necessary, you can meet that as you will. I have not given anything to mortals. In fact, I am here to guard and protect them.
There is a perhaps surprising smirk on his face. Not like a. Well, actually, I'm gonna have two things done first. Roll me a persuasion check, Gyasi.
Oh, God.
Can I cast guidance at all?
No, you cannot cast guidance in this instance.
That's decidedly average. 11.
11.
Straight up the middle.
Yep. And I'll also have you make me an insight check.
Oh, I'm even worse at these.
That'll
Yep, that'll be a 4.
be a 4.
Can I roll an insight check?
Sure.
Oh gods. Oh by Gaia.
Duck and cover.
And by the way, as he's talking, Alicia's just banging her head against her staff, like out of pure frustration after realizing what's going on. Natural 20 for 32.
32.
Natural 20.
You recognize something here. Zeus is indeed an emotional being. But he doesn't, surprisingly, he doesn't seem too angry at what's happened. He in fact is kind of like smirking in a way that's not like you idiot, not like that, just in a way that's like, I don't know, he's amused. But the persuasion check was really for the rest of the gods, who are not so amused as Zeus. Hermes is in the back like...
He can't watch this.
he's like, where did I go wrong? Oh yeah, I didn't really raise him. And...
You didn't raise him, what do you know?
I goes, oh yeah, I barely talked to him.
You
And
literally did his domain perfectly.
I know, he's standing there going like, and then he goes, oh yeah, okay.
Game recognized game.
Pretty much, he's like, I mean, I haven't even done that. And he's like looking, and he's like trying to like find someone who's on his team, but like everyone's like, but most of the gods, you know, Athena's looking down, inscrutable with her emotionless gray gaze. Ares, as usual, looks furious. Aphrodite is like concerned, looking around the room more than at Gyasi. Artemis and Apollo are looking at each other. They're not sure what to think. Demeter looks annoyed. Hera looks annoyed at this as well. Dionysus is picking something out from under his fingers. That's kind of generally the mood. And then as for the gods in the stands up there, there's a great amount of like disheaval. People are generally not into Gyasi's whole sitch. Yes, sir.
What about Ouroboros and Thalia?
And that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going right now.
Sorry to interrupt.
No problem at all. No problem at all. Or Zeus sort of like removes his hand from his mouth, where that sort of smirk is revealed. That sort of like amused smirk is revealed, and he looks to his left and says, "We have new gods amongst us, who know this one better than I. Ouroboros, god of pain. What do you think?"
He'll be looking like he is a bit disappointed, and Zeus being Zeus, he would probably be able to tell that Ouroboros already has a punishment in mind, if Zeus would will it.
Well, you have to say these things if
Yeah.
you want to.
Yeah. I don't know. He's a god, dude. What the fuck? Like, they just know stuff, right? No, but
You're a god now. no mortal that he just has a little hook into your brain anymore. You're a god. There's one on equal footing as far as beings go. What say you, Ouroboros?
And I'll use my new thaumaturgy. Great Zeus, and to all of my fellow Olympians.
Zeus is like, okay, easy.
That's great. I mean, shut up.
On the thaumaturgy, he's like, oh, all right. Please keep going.
Oh, the sound just traveled. Okay.
Look.
It is with great disappointment that I do announce that one of my companions has taken that which we guard so dear. Because this friend of mine has done this act, I deem it only fair not only for the transgression, but for my lack of leadership and judgment. That Gyasi shall be sentenced to 100 lashes. And every lash that Gyasi takes, I will take from either Zeus or whoever will make the god of pain feel more.
Very like in the tension of the moment, like almost inappropriately, Ares just bursts out laughing. He just starts like laughing hysterically. And then and Zeus just kind of looks over and goes, Ares, control yourself. He goes, I'm sorry, Father. God of pain, how aptly named. Ah, we're going to have fun, me and you.
We shall.
Zeus sort of shakes his head at Ares' additions, and he says, Thalia, goddess of grace, I would ask you, who knows these so well, what do you think?
I know Gyasi to only care for the mortals and to only have their best interest at heart and try to hold great love for the mortals as well. And it was only offered to him recently, today, to become a god. So, unconventional as it may be, he only took what was offered to him just hours ago. I ask you that you might find the grace in your heart to forgive this transgression and allow him to fight the Titans as we're supposed to.
I would like both Ouroboros and Thalia to make persuasion checks, as they are both proposing starkly opposite things. We'll see who's more persuasive.
I wonder.
What did you wait, hang on, don't even roll. Oh, fuck, okay.
Oh, sorry.
What did you roll, Ouroboros?
Fucking, this was a rigged game from the fucking start. 'God damn. 15?
15? So Thalia's bonus is 18. And that's without a roll. But I will say, I definitely Zeus is much more, and as he has proven historically in his judgments, he is not one easily persuaded by word alone. He's also persuaded by the logic of what he thinks he wants to do best as well. And you say this, Thalia, the gods are sort of turned by this Thalia. The other gods around sort of are turned by this, many of them who like the idea of grace. It's a very beautiful aspect, grace. Some, much like Ares, are much into the pain and the torture and the punishment. But many are amenable to Thalia's way of grace, as many of the gods have often been seduced by such things. Zeus, what does he think? What does he think? He says, he goes, mercy, Thalia. You would propose mercy for this one who stole the ambrosia and drank of it. Mercy is not enough. I mean to reward him. And he will stand tall, sort of almost ignoring Ouroboros, and says, but my son does speak of pain and punishment, and there will be pain and punishment, but not delivered by me or my hand, not for either of you. For there is still a war to fight. You, Gyasi, wish to be a god, to watch over us, to ensure that we do not misbehave. I'll be very interested to see how, even as you are now, will fare at stopping us. Which is why I will allow this. Go to war as you have already defeated the Titans, and should the Olympians win, I have no doubt there will be no small amount of pain dealt by my uncles and father. Go to war with your kin and face them, and then face with them in battle. And when you come out the other side, I will make you the god of watchfulness. And then we will see what divinity has in store for you. If you fail to slay the And if you fail to slay the Titans, put them where they belong, well, I imagine the punishment will be exacting unto itself. We will speak of your divinity once the Titans are felled. And you will have to face those who, and he looks at Ouroboros, may feel betrayed. And some of the other gods, like, they look furious at this, like, Ares looks pissed. He's not happy about it at all. Hera's, like, gripping the edge of her seat and is not very happy about this at all. She thinks this weakens, perhaps. Many of the other gods in the stanza would not dare defy Zeus's judgment and remain silent, but there is a tension, not of resistance, but of a surprise at his mercy. And he'll say, now step back. For there are others here who must meet judgment and punishment as well. Silenos, son of Artemis, step forward. You were found with the ambrosia. It was sent to you. You did not partake of it, but you had it. And more than this, and more importantly, what needs addressing, is your inclination towards darkness. The offer has been made to you, Silenos, son of Artemis, that if you wished it, you might become a god, celestial and divine and pure of light. But yet, you still seek annihilation. You still seek end to all things. You seek the darkness at the end of all light. I would propose you this, Silenos, for there is no judgment but this. I will allow you to speak, mortal. Speak in your defense. Say what you will, and then I will render judgment unto you.
Of course, great king. Whatever your judgment be, I imagine it would be fit. I imagine my mother returned the remaining ambrosia, which I declined to take. And he'll look to Artemis.
You'll go, was that a question?
Do you know where the rest of it is?
You'll look to Artemis, and Artemis will stand to say, I thought it prudent, father, to drink the remaining of it, to have it out of free hands, as it were. He nods to her, she sits down.
Of course. Just wanted to make it known that it was left in respect. I could have taken godliness and fleed into the darkness which none of you, and I'll look around, could see me. I know that for a fact. But I didn't, because I stand here with my friends who have saved me and have now seen ascend to their true strength and power. I don't have an infatuation with chaos or the end, merely an association with the unknown and unseen. Perhaps if Olympus is united, the forces of darkness won't have the ability to rise up. Should I rise to godhood?
And this is what you mistaken, mortal. Evil is not darkness. Evil, such as the Titans, is evil, and darkness is its own element. It is a tool where all things diminish within. If you wish to rise up, and rise up I would have you do, you would rise perhaps as a seeker. You wish to be watchful, protect, ensure that nothing damning happens. Keep atop of the Titans, evil, and make sure it does not befall the land and use darkness against us? Very well. I would have you be such a thing. But I will not have one who bears in their heart the power of Nyx, darkness itself. For we do not mean to wield darkness here, for there is nothing but the corruption of light in darkness. And we are gods. We are beings of light. We are beings who watch down on creation and do not wish to see it obscured and gone away with. Make it known, Silenos, that you have a place here in Olympus. We would have you proudly, but we will not have Nyx in this place. Whatever your choice, Nyx or us, it will not be both.
I'll cut in and I'll just say, then make me the being of amity, the force of companionship, strength in allies. I will leave darkness. However, I don't think it's something that should be ignored. Perhaps I can still watch over it over the years and eons, but I do fear that offending it will be dangerous. But I do accept the light and the continuation of life in the world.
We shall see. I shall think. For much has happened this day, I am not willing to hand out more immortality, as it has been taken. Face Oceanus first, as those are your plans, and when you return, I will consider your offer. And you shall consider it as well. Make no mistake, Silenos. The powers we'll gain through Nyx are not things we shy away from, no. But we will not have it sit here for an immortal time. If you wish to embrace this darkness, do so as a mortal. And when your time comes to fall, so shall your knowledge and powers. So choose mortality and the powers of darkness, or immortality and the powers of light. You may come to us with your answer in time. When you are ready, or once Oceanus is slain. And so there is one last thing that need be dealt with. Druids, the lands of Gaia who have come to this place, step forward.
Valerie, Ian, and Alicia will step forward after Alicia lets out a very long sigh, like, yes, great king.
One of my proudest warriors, greatest heroes of Olympus, demigod who has slayed Titan and monster alike, has turned to a different way. Gyasi, the son of Hermes, slayers of Titans and monsters alike, giants and dragons even. He has turned to a way that seems to be the influence of your people. He seems to think that the gods should banish from the lands of man, as if it wasn't our right. And he never held within his heart this opinion until he came to you, druids, who speak so freely of a land for mortals and a land for gods. Do you deny your influence? Do you deny your designs upon these worlds infecting my heroes?
I step forward and I look to Ian Warren and Valerie. I step forward and say, when the Demithots came to the lands of Gaia, Gyasi would not speak. I was barely able to get a word out of him. Nor did any of the other archdruids. At a certain point he went off on his own. To the best of my knowledge, great Zeus, and I swear upon Gaia when I say this: if Gyasi has come to this conclusion, he has come to this conclusion but by himself. I had nothing to do with it.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Your Honor, I didn't do it.
No guidance?
You did not guidance yourself before you spoke these words, so no.
Fuck.
Fuck.
12?
A very bashful 12. He will say, by himself, I see.
And if it helps any, Gyasi is like 3 paces behind the pile of druids, and he's just nodding his head.
Oh,
As
you're going
if-
like, yeah. As if.
That's it.
Oh, that's it. Is what you said. Okay. Ian Warren says, if it would be alright, I might like to put a word in there alongside Alicia. Zeus sort of waves his hand and says, I would just like to step in and say that Alicia spoke with them the most, and Alicia is always being, as part of our circle of archdruids, has always been a wise and trustworthy woman. And I'd very much like to put myself beside her and say that if she says that we didn't have an influence, then we did not. But I would say that we're not entirely innocent. We do worship Great Gaia, the Mother Earth herself, and it seems to us that the blessings that Gyasi has received is from Gaia herself. And if we are to be blamed for Gaia's doings, then so be it. We draw our power from her and our wisdom from her, but I can assure you that, as Alicia said, that no archdruid or druid of ours tried to do any sort of poisoning or corruption, rather the opposite. We druids, we pursue harmony and purity in life, and try and ward away sickness and such. It's not very good for nature, you see. So, that's all. I just want to put my word in and say Alicia is a good individual who is trustworthy, and I would stand by her when she says that. And that if there was anyone to blame, it would be our great Gaia. And if you must inflict some punishment on us for our great mother's work, then I would be happy to take on that punishment for her. And he kind of like looks at Valerie, and she's like, okay, I guess I'll speak. We didn't do it.
I give her a shrug, like, I guess I'll walk.
Zeus is like, we didn't do it. Yeah, we didn't do anything. I don't know what you want me to say here. We didn't do anything. No, sorry, we did. We freed you.
No,
This is what we
like
did.
I just pull aside and get her to calm down.
Yeah, you pull her aside.
Like the little hook goes out like.
She goes like, well, we freed him. Am I wrong? Like we.
What she means to say is that we had no parts in what Gyasi did. Like.
Ian Warren says not right. She is. Right, at least he is. Valerie is correct. We did send these two to help out, but we do so humbly. Zeus is like, he says, well, we're going to roll persuasion checks for your other two folks who have great persuasion checks because they're druids and definitely didn't drop those stats. And as Zeus looks down on them, we're going to have a break while I think of what happens next.
Oh boy. Thanks a lot, Gyasi.
Just a question, Ryan.
Emotions.
Yeah.
If I would have rolled a persuasion check well, would my thing have gone better?
Of course.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
What, you roll persuasion for your situation, right?
No.
You didn't? People speak like hostility to each other. I'm super into it. And at the end of the day, what we got to realize is that Gyasi's true weakness is FOMO. He just like, you wanted to be in the party, you wanted to hang out. I just wanted to go to the party, man. Alright, I don't need to go away. Okay. Well, we need to get Ouroboros back. Ouroboros, you with us? God of pain, I call to you.
Always, Father.
Ooh, god of pain.
Yeah, he's the god of pain, man. We're gonna give him like a. He's not gonna have like the white linens the gods have. He's gonna have like leather straps for sure.
Mm-hmm. Like a Mad Max, like a Mad Max villain.
What the fuck kind of dominatrix are you making me into, Brian?
Yeah, you chose to be the god of pain, dude.
This
I
is
did
like,
not choose that.
Oops, did I make you oops? No, you're the god of...
At least he's like, ooh, god of pain. Mm.
No, it's not like the fun pain.
It's not fun pain.
This is definitely the not fun pain. This is like the skin flame kind of thing. Okay. Time has passed. Olympus,
Just really,
you know...
I'm so sorry. Do you want me to roll that?
Yeah. Give it to me.
I shouldn't have said anything. 16.
16?
Not bad.
That's not bad at all, but things
Yeah.
will explain as they happened. So
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. After a long while, Zeus sits and he looks at all of you. He thinks for some couple of minutes in quiet, looking from each of you to the next, looking at different members of the 12 Olympians, or, as his gaze, there's speaking and words shared in the balconies by the lesser gods, and all of you there stand before all of them. Stand before Zeus, and Katara's like, do I not get a chance to? Do I not get to? Okay, whatever, it's fine. And as Zeus puts his hand up eventually, and the room goes quiet, he says, I have come to a decision. There will be punishment. Thalia requires mercy and grace, and recommends it, and I will give it. But just as my son, the god of pain, requires punishment, I will give that too. Gyasi, you are given the grace that you may keep fighting for the Olympians, and perhaps if you prove yourself valorous and loyal, you may earn the godhood you seek, the recognition of watchfulness that you seek. But there will be punishment for your transgressions. You stole from my temple. You gave Ambrosia away as if it was yours to give. And so punishment is had. Elysia of the druids, I indenture you into the service of Olympus, and take from you, as he points his hand to you, there is a passing of magic from him to you, and he says, you are bound to these plains that we call home. Never again, until the Titans are felled, shall you see the lands of Gaia once more, this place that you have come from. You are bound to serve the gods until the Titans are destroyed, or never see your homeland again. I am remiss to punish an ambassador, so you, Ian Warren, will remain as such, but, and he turns his head to Valerie, says, but you will serve the harshest punishment, you with the quickest tongue, and you who have come here alongside Gyasi, the great watcher of your people and your god Gaia. And so, Valerie, and he points his hand to you, I cannot take your magics from you, for they come from Gaia, my own mentor. But I can change them. And so, I curse you. For all of nature that you touch will spoil in your hands. I curse you with eternal thirst and hunger. Never shall food pass through your lips without spoiling. Never shall water pass your lips without great thirst. And never shall you perish from either. You will feel the pain of hunger and the thirst for all time until the Titans are laid low. This is your curse, to remain here on Olympus and know that nature will not grow under your touch. And with that, Valerie's sort of like, she starts to like, not quite pain, but there is sort of like a change of magic. And Elysia, you who are so attuned to the druidic powers, feel not a sapping from her, but almost like a sheath of magic around her. A sheath that will ensure that any plants she tries to grow or touch will diminish, and that she will never taste water or food again until the Titans are felled. And she's, what? No, I didn't do anything.
I go to her to try to make sure she's okay.
She like, you go to her and she like No, I didn't do... She starts, like, panics. She's
Oh.
like, I didn't do anything!
Yes, Valerie.
She's, like, freaking out. She's like, I didn't do anything!
I go up to it, I hold him, I go up to her and I just hold her mouth shut.
You hold, make me an athletics check.
Okay. 15.
Not terribly hard. You like grab onto her and hold her mouth and sort of like start trying to like calm her and pull her out of her panic. I want you to make a persuasion check to kind of calm her.
Okay. Unnatural 20.
You manage to calm her, and as the anger passes, tears will roll down her face, and as they get too near toward her mouth, they sort of evaporate away. And she just kind of like doesn't fall to her knees or anything so dramatically, but she definitely like starts like angry crying. Like she doesn't want to be. She's like trying to hide it. She hates that she is, but she's just furious, and she's like trying to hold it inside.
I embrace it.
Yeah, you embrace her. He says, "And so my judgment is had," is what Zeus proclaims. "Punishment dealt, and congratulations, Gyasi. You get what you want in the end. I adjourn here this throne room. All may return to where they were. It is time we ended this war, sooner rather than later. I have declared what is to be, and so it is." And he'll rise from his throne and sort of turn past the throne and walk into the gardens. And the other gods will rise from their various thrones and begin to mingle and meander. What does everyone do?
I immediately take Valerie out of the Luctine one and take Valerie out of the hall as far as I can get her.
Ian Warren will go with you, and you guys just sort of retreat from the throne room.
And I give a glare to Gyasi.
Ian Warren does no such thing. He simply takes you out of the hall.
Thalia will follow. At the hall.
You follow.
Yeah, I was about to say Ouroboros gives a glance to Thalia because this seems like something she could help with.
What do you do, Ouroboros? Silenos, Gyasi.
I reckon Ouroboros will walk down the steps with his hands behind his back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Silenos is probably still, like, as Zeus leaves, he hasn't turned or anything. I think he's just standing there, kind of not stunned, but just like thinking, pensive.
Yep.
And
Maybe awaiting his godly friends.
yeah, and Ouroboros will stand in front of everybody. And at first he'll be kind of looking austere. Can't really figure out what emotion it is. And then he cracks a smile and he says, "I was hoping that when you all found out it would be a bit more of a light-hearted occasion." Gyasi.
Dude, when you met me, I was stealing stuff.
I wasn't about to say anything wrong. I was merely saying I should have saw it coming.
If they didn't want it stolen, they shouldn't have pointed it out to me and told me where it was.
He kind of looks around. That's a fair point.
Which makes me think that there's a chance that some of this is bluff and thunder for the sake of bluff and thunder.
He
Because
doesn't
why
say
would
anything.
you?
He doesn't say anything, but he gives you yeah.
Mhm.
How does it feel?
Necessary? It's not something I wanted, but it's something that's needed. Speaking of something needed, I will take out the vessel that Hermes handed me, and I will hand that to you, Ouroboros. That's the blood of Pellus that your mother wanted. She can establish the Storm Giant line if that's your choice.
He contemplates it for a bit.
There is something to be said, Ouroboros. As you contemplate it, something occurs to you, something more feeling than thought.
Mm-hmm.
You are a young god. You are a god not even really aware, that mortals are not even truly aware of yet. Your father did say your power does grow with worship. And there is a people that you had wished to live among the lands the gods had. You are the god of pain. Perhaps you might also be the god of giants. If you can bring them to worship you. And that would be quite the following for a new god.
He smiles and takes the blood and stows it away. Thank you.
You're
This will
entirely
go
welcome.
quite far.
I think that's about all the damage I can do for one day.
Oh, don't cut yourself short.
Do not cut yourself short, Gyasi. I don't know. I can deal. Never mind.
I haven't had the leisure to get acclimatized. It was sort of an abrupt choice, and then waiting for the constabulary to show up, because that's one of those things that you just don't walk away from. So don't bother trying.
Did you see the way that you had my father smirking?
Yeah. Which is why I think that there's every possibility that what we just saw was theater.
Yeah. Shame for the druids, sadly, but
Again, I think that was as much to save face as it was to vent a little spleen. Because if the goal is to defeat the Titans and then trot a new path, it has to be done in a way that doesn't upset his balance of power. And this strikes me like that might be the case.
I think you're on the right line of thought, but
Well, if anybody's going to overcomplicate something, that'll be me.
I would say so.
So I suppose I better step outside and let Alicia bash me in the head.
Yeah.
And apologize to Velma, Veronica.
Yeah.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
B name.
Val-
My head
Valerie.
just forgot it.
It's Valerie.
Wow.
What?
This be something. What?
That-
He's not that important.
I'm not saying that.
I'm joking.
This goes on in my daily life all the time.
I'm joking.
Well, I gotta
People that I
say-
work with.
I gotta say, there was some timing in characters. Veronica,
Something.
whatever her fucking name is, better her than me.
For the record, Gyasi, it's Valerie.
Valerie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Definitely a B
Sure.
name.
Try to stay out of trouble, at least for tonight.
I think I've hit my quotient for the day. In fact, there's something that I've got to return. Thinking of stuff that was stolen.
Oh, jeez.
So
Be
let
gone.
me go catch up with. Oh no! I just want to give Aeolus back his bag of wind.
All right. We shall see you.
Alright.
Well, I gotta go to let Alicia slap the hell out of me because I'm pretty certain that look that she gave me on the way out. I'm not really good at reading people, but that was pretty clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Gyasi goes to meet his fate. I don't know, his punishment, his real punishment. Well, I just want to see where everyone's at. What happens next with everybody else still in the throne room? We haven't heard from you, Silenos or Thalia.
Thalia followed after Alicia
Right.
and Valerie.
Got it. In that case, let's go to that, because Silenos, you were a part of that. So let's go to that situation. So Alicia, you get Valerie out of there. And she's just like pissed. She's like beside herself, just like angry. She's like, she's just losing it. She's like, you're gonna take my power from me? I didn't do anything. This is,
I know. Shh.
it's not fair.
No, I know. It's not. I know. It's not. I know. It's. I'm sorry.
Ian Moran just kind of quiet, and she's just kind of like, I don't know, bashing about, saying whatever angry thing to make herself feel better. She's like, I hate it here. I don't know why this was wrong. I should have never come here, and he's done this to me, and now you can't leave either, and she's just like beside herself. She can't even get the words out. She's kind of like, almost like, ugh, like just like trying to somehow get out that like anger inside of her, but she can't fully. And we'll say you appear at this point, Thalia.
She'll go to Alicia. I'm so sorry. I didn't see that coming, and it wasn't fair, and I'll do what I can to turn it around. I know you didn't do anything. I believe you.
I want you to make a persuasion check. For whatever reason.
I want you to pass a check.
Yeah, I'd like you to pass a check for me.
34.
I'm gonna give you oh my god. Alright. What Thalia gets, Thalia wants. Okay. You go, so she turns to you, Valerie, and you know, she's like, the tears are rolling down her cheek, which cease immediately at her laugh lines, and, well, not laugh lines, at like the mid cheek where her mouth is, and she looks at you, you get the sense, like, very immediately that she wants to, like, get angry at you, wants to point at you and say, like, you know, fuck you, you're a god, like, you know, like, there's a very immediate, like, she wants to throw all of her anger at you, but, she can't be angry at you, not with a 30. And she just kind of like, almost like puts her head down, almost like angrily stomps like over you and like puts her head in the crook of your neck and just kind of like cries angrily with her teeth grit. And just keeps her hands at her, she doesn't like throw her hands around, she keeps her hands at her side like balled up. She's just like full of fury in this moment, but nothing she can do with.
And she'll take her and put her hand on the back of her neck and pull her close and Valerie, I'll fix this. I know I can. I'll make sure you're well taken care of here. Mount Olympus really isn't that bad. It's a beautiful place and we'll defeat the Titans and you'll go back to normal. It'll be okay. I promise it'll be okay.
There's part of her that's going like, she's going like, this is a horrible place, and she's like trying to like, you know, almost like that irrationally, like overly emotionally, she's like hating on Olympus a bit. I think Eamorn comes over and like invites himself into the hug and will join into that. He just kind of holds you guys there.
I join too.
He slaps the cell phone out of Alicia's hand and drags her in.
I was.
I'm just kidding. It's all good. And yeah, you guys kind of have a hug, and she kind of like gets out what she needs to get out angrily. And after a little while, a certain black cat god will be standing in the doorway. At which point, I think the little hug comes apart as these high wisdom perception individuals definitely know you're coming. So Gyasi, you arrive and you see this like little group hub break out, and you see a very angry angry Valerie, and
I go over there first.
Okay, and you see him, and you're the first one over there, and
I slap him in the face.
Okay.
Oh wow. I think I'll cast calm.
No, don't move to dodge.
It's very easy. She goes, roll me an attack roll, Alicia.
Okay. Since fit. Okay. Hold on. Attack roll.
Unarmed strike.
5 plus something.
Alicia, you go, you bastard! Like, definitely like got all that extra wind up, and Gyasi just kind of like it's just not even like a, like, maybe like a couple, you're like, and she's like,
Fight back! Fight back!
fight back, you bastard! He's just like, you don't catch him, not by a long shot. You don't expect that you will be able to either.
Like, okay, she called, yeah, G.
You feel better yet?
Stupid, selfish, wretched little fiend. What the, like, and she just reads you there, like, what the fuck were you thinking? Do you not think of anything but yourself? What on earth are you doing? And she just reads you the right act.
Would you stop and think for a moment?
Would you?
First, let's be clear. I didn't do this for me. I did this for you. I did this, pointing off to the horizon of Olympus, for them. Everything that you just saw, all of that, I got even odds that it's theater. Your particular deal, what is going on with Valerie, is all theater.
That's theater?
That's
What,
theater.
She points at that, like the tears, and I was like,
How is he supposed to take on a new path and not disturb the balance that is his realm? Unless he meters punishment and shows his strength, allows him an opportunity for ire. All we need to do is be successful, at which we were already going to do. He has already said that this situation, as rotten as it is contingent on something that we already wanted to do. But it gives him the ability to say, they succeeded, maybe they have a point. It's theater. And he had to sell it.
Ryan, do I believe there's any truth to what Gyasi is saying about Zeus? Not that Gyasi is telling the truth, but like, do I?
I get you. You want to reflect and be like, is it true? Maybe an insight check.
Insight check?
Yeah.
Okay. Natural 20!
Damn, man. If you'd be okay, Thalia, I'd much like you to roll me one as well. Because you're gonna have context that Alicia does not from your background. Fuck. Okay, yeah, you... So I can see your screen. She got a 30. She got a 30. Alright, but natural 20 and a 30. Okay, you get everything. So, I'm gonna start with some context I'm gonna give you, Thalia. You are aware of many mythologies, which Alicia is not. Of different instances of Zeus rendering judgment upon individuals. The harsher judgments he's rendered upon people, I don't know, you go through them all. One pops out to your mind because it has to do with the war, which is Adonis, about how Aphrodite wanted Adonis and Persephone wanted Adonis. And Zeus basically said, okay, both want him, let's make it nice and even. And he tried to make it as fair as possible, right? He's like, Adonis, you get your third because you're immortal. But they're gods, so to appease them, Aphrodite, you get your third, and Persephone, you get your third because gods have a lot of power. So appeasing them is more important. But as you go through the mythologies and think of them, there's no real instance of Zeus like making a harsh judgment on a god. Even when Hephaestus tricked Hera into being locked into her throne, and Hephaestus sort of revealed like freedom easy enough and pretty obviously revealed it was his trick, there's no real punishment. And you get the sense that in this moment with what Gyasi's saying about theater, and Alicia, you're gathering this too despite... What's your total? What did you get for a total on insight?
32.
Okay. What you're gathering as well, despite the lack of context, is that the gods as a whole are in on that as well. That, like, they're all ancient beings, they're intelligent beings because of it. There is no theater that will work on them. There is no, like, I'm going to make an example of you to prove to my people that I'm a strong king. That doesn't work here, because every member of his court is an intelligent, immortal being, and they see through the bullshit. Easy. So for Zeus's judgment, there is no theater when it comes to the gods. It's just, how can I make this fair enough that gets everybody what they want? Demeter wants Persephone back? Okay, let's see if I can make her work with like a half a year, and people have to listen to me because I'm the king. And he doesn't punish anybody, but he tries to make it fair. When it comes to mortals, however, there is such theater. There is, you must roll that stone up that hill for eternity. You must look into that pond forever, or what have you, because mortals are more susceptible to theater. You get the sense that what happened in there was for the benefit of everyone here. And for Valerie, and for Ian Warren perhaps, because they are not immortal, and they do not see to the pageantry, and the theater, and the drama of punishment. And at the end of the day, Zeus is king, not because he gives the illusion of power, but because he has it. Zeus is by far the most powerful person in that room. He has felled Titans by himself. He won the war against the Titans single-handedly. He is the god of lightning, and thus the king of kings. His power is not an illusion, it is absolute. He does not need to play with the gods, he does not need to hide that, but he does play with it with all of you, because you are young, you are brash, you don't see that he could strike you down the bowl, you don't see that he can make your lives torment. You see the theater, though. And that is how Zeus's court works. He is greatly powerful. These young races, they sometimes don't see it. 'They're too bold, too brash, and they need to be made an example of. So that was for you all. Absolutely. Gyasi is spot on.
Okay. At least he takes a moment just to look back to Gyasi. It's easy to make sacrifices when other people have to pay the price. Try thinking about that. And I leave in a huff and just walk away. And take Valerie with me, I guess.
Yeah, you kind of grab Valerie and take her with you, and she's not reluctant to go as well. Thalia and Ian Warren are left, and I think Ian Warren will approach you, Gyasi, and he'll be like, "You bastard!" No, he doesn't do that. He will say, that was a tough position to be in, and I appreciate what you've done. And believe me, I understand that this thing we're trying to achieve isn't going to happen without sacrifices. So, painful as it is, and sometimes as hard as it is, I still give you my thank yous. You're also muted. You should know that as well.
I appreciate your understanding. It was something that needed doing. I am worried about the stress that it is going to put Valerie in particular under. I think Alicia will have opportunity to vent her spleen some, but
Yeah.
Alicia is in a rougher spot due to the whole shift in her outlook, the way that material comes to be, and I'm sorry that it got leveraged in that way, but I didn't see an opportunity where, and gesturing over her shoulder back towards the throne room, any of them would willingly make the choice that needed to be made. So I made it for them. Because as an immortal, that was the only time that I could.
Well, you don't seem to be much of a mortal anymore.
Well, now I am bound to that choice.
I suppose so. And
And in fact, that may be the last choice that I get to make. But if it sets the stage to provide balance and a place for everyone and allows them to be there, perhaps that's sufficient to the task.
like I said, you will know. Sacrifices are going to have to be made for big things to happen. So, I think you sacrificed too in your own way here. So, you have more to my thanks. And I'm going to do my part best I can. See if we can make friends with this Sky Tyrant.
Yeah. Now all we have to do is get the job done and put the rest of the Titans where they belong.
Right. Well, you take good care of Alicia, and like you say, get the job done, and I'll do my part here. Keep an eye on Valerie and see if we can't make kind with these here gods. So, I think I'll leave you for the rest of the night. He'll give you a pat on the shoulder, and he'll find his way down the mountain as well. Just Gyasi and Thalia left. 2 gods.
Enough drama for you? Everything okay?
I live for the drama. You do keep things interesting, Gyasi.
Well, like I told Ouroboros, shortly after we first met, I was stealing stuff and freeing prisoners. Here we are, hopefully approaching the end, and I'm stealing stuff with the intent of freeing prisoners. So, it seems circular.
Not much has changed, admittedly. Well, you are right about their curses lifting on the destruction of the Titans. Heart goes out to Valerie, but I think we'll be able to make hopefully quick work of the Titans that remain. And it'll be a lot easier now with our newfound godhood. It looks good on you, by the way. Your coat is exquisite.
It feels better.
Oh, that's nice.
I really haven't had a lot of time to acclimatize, but it does feel better.
Well, you look great, and
Thank you. As do you. I mean, you were radiant before, but you are much greater in amplitude now than you were before.
well, thank you. Admittedly, eternal beauty was a very big draw to the godhood thing.
Well, it fits you well.
Well, thank you. Speaking of beauty, I need my beauty rest. I think I'll be turning in for the night. Would you like a teleport down the hill?
I'm going to swing by Elois's cave on my way to the bathhouse. I'll just fly.
Oh,
I appreciate the speedy lift, but I have the wings. I might as well use them. It's time that he had his bag of gales returned.
well, I'm glad things worked out the way they did, Gyasi. It could have gone a lot worse, and I'm glad you're...
Oh, it certainly could have. And I had contingencies planned.
Of course you did, but I'm glad you didn't need them. Well, have a good evening, Gyasi, and
I will see you in the morning.
Thalia will teleport back to the rooms.
Okay.
With my last lesson.
Fair enough. Well, depending on how many sorcery points you use.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, not so bad, is it?
Oh. I did have a question.
Yeah.
Can I project image from Olympus to Greece, or is it too far away in another plane?
Normally it would be, but I'm going to say, per the fact that you are a god standing in heaven,
Mm-hmm.
you may.
Oh, really?
I will allow it.
You can project image.
You're a god.
I would like to project image to the Inquisitor.
Fuck. Alright, we'll come back to you. Alright. Yes, you absolutely. We'll catch up with you in a minute. Let's go to literally anybody else. Ouroboros! Hey! What do you up to, buddy?
Hey, I'm gonna project image to Kronos. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, Silenos!
I think I'll approach Silenos a little closer and place my hand on his shoulder.
Hey, buddy.
Silenos.
Sorry.
Don't.
You look good. You look good. That's all.
Thank you. You have made a difficult decision. One that I do respect you so much more for. You are wise. You understand that.
But
No buts.
Ouroboros, I'm scared. I don't know what to do.
In what regard?
I'm stuck at two very unstable crossroads, and uh, I want to accept light, but I fear that that might have passed.
Brother, for the feats alone that you have accomplished, I would not put anything that you wish out of your grasp.
I agree. Maybe I just
Well, to be certain, the company here is a bit biased, as you understand. But me knowing you, whichever path you decide to follow, hopefully the one where I get to see you and continue our friendship, I will always love you.
you too. About that. I thought about it. Maybe I think that's it. I think I just want to work towards exemplifying the light in fellowship and embrace rather than hiding as much in the darkness.
He'll kneel down in front of you until he's probably eye level. And he'll put both hands on your shoulders. And he'll say, Silenos, do not be swayed. If you truly believe that this is the path that you need to follow. Regardless,
I do, but
everything will fall into place.
I don't know enough, and I don't know who to ask. And obviously, it's Ah!
Hi. I'm sorry, am I standing too close?
I just maybe the unknown is the unknown, and that's okay. I think I've had my time with it, and I just need a little bit more light and companionship. But we'll see in time.
Silenos.
You too good for us, or are you still coming back to?
My fight is with the Titans. So if your fight is with the Titans, I will always be with you.
That's what I like to hear, brother.
But you listen here. You will take the path that you want, not the path that others have decided for you. I may be a new god, but that does not change what I wanted. Granted, it's on a much larger scale than what I wanted, but such comes with the job, I suppose.
Of course. Godhood aside, your word holds weight with me. You know that.
Yeah, if only you would have listened to me more, but
If only you would have told me that your father's bolts suck.
well, to be fair, I never touched one myself. I didn't know.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh, I actually have one right here, and I fucking twiddle it in my fucking.
Show
Uh,
It zooms out of your hand in that moment and like goes flying to wherever Zeus is.
Oh, dude, don't do that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
I
Get out
have
the battle, buddy.
plans with that.
No, don't do that. That's funny. What do you think was gonna happen?
It's not like he can't see it on my back.
Oh, I thought it was like in your bag or something. I don't know. Either way, he would have taken it from you.
I gotta go talk to Dad. I'll talk to you later, alright?
sure. Just tell him that maybe we should speak again at some point. Maybe in the future.
You and him?
Yeah. And
It shall be done.
peace, buddy.
See
And
you,
I'll
bro.
just like misstep and run away.
Alright, as we are going to continue to ignore Thalia's request, Ouroboros, let's go talk to Zeus while I continue to imagine what she's gonna find.
Mm-hmm.
So you go out to where Zeus is. Let me just go set the scene. But anyway, you find your way all the way out there. Get out of here, Hermes. Nobody needs you there. And he is looking down upon the lands of Greece. Excuse me. And as you approach, you feel your eyes become sore again. And the moment that you hit that balcony and look down, your eyes seem to almost become like greatly telescopic. Before, you simply stood to the balcony and saw the breadth of the lands of Greece, which is still what you are able to see. But in this moment, as a god, you sort of connect to this space and you see even closer. You essentially have the ability, and to put it into technical terms, you have essentially the ability to cast the Arcane Eye spell and view wherever you want. That's canon. As a god, you have the ability to, like, it's not a spell, I'm just talking about the mechanics, but generally,
Yeah.
you can stand here and look down at any point in Greece as if you were standing right there. You can visit anyone you love, anyone you hate, exact punishment from above, whatever you want. And Zeus, sort of, you hear his voice sort of pull you out of the moment. He goes, magnificent, isn't it? Different. when your eyes have attuned to the immortal.
It is. Is this how you all see?
Yes. And now it is how you see, Ouroboros. We not stand here in these gardens, though there is something contemplative about it, something exacting as you look down. But yes, you can look down from anywhere upon Olympus and see what you require, see what you need down in the mortal realm. That is why Olympus is so very important. It's a sanctuary, yes, but it is also a respite where we might view the mortals in great detail. Hear what they have to say, share what they pray of, who they hate upon, and exact punishment or blessings as we see fit. I have set up a home for you, a place for you to be here on Olympus.
You have?
Of course, I will not have my son staying in a bathhouse. Not my godly son, anyway. Drink the Ambrosia if you want it. One has been set up for Thalia as well, as I'm sure she'll be informed.
Yes. Sorry about the trace of a lightning bolt. I took it from Mother.
I apologize for reclaiming my power. Don't.
Well. Yes. I figured that such power would be necessary to keep the giants from doing anything rash.
And what do you think, Ouroboros, now that you are a god? The giants, do they deserve to live?
I believe they do.
Even after all the pain and carnage they have brought. Well, I did make you the god of pain, after all. Suppose it is fitting that you would see them as allies.
Yes, but their pain, while some may be warriors and seek bloodshed, others do not. They were merely told by a tyrant to sow hate and discontent upon the land. And them being faithful followers, listened to their deity.
I'll admit to you in private, Olympus. God, or these druids, he calls me a man of war, a god of war. I never thought of myself as such, which is foolish, really. I must admit, I've done great efforts to try and put those war days behind me, leaving those things to Ares and Athena. I cannot deny that I was born and bred to fight. I wasn't raised up to defeat my father and his children, to claim dominion of these worlds. Peace is difficult. Peace requires inaction. Our family has never been so good at inaction.
I suppose that is one thing that I share, even as a mortal.
And yet you have giant blood. that once flowed in your veins no longer. It's left its impression upon you clearly, but you are a god. And you are right, regardless of how we feel about the Titans, Palos did not treat them well, treated them as fodder. Perhaps it is time they had a god of their own. I give you my
may have the answer.
I give you my permission then, Ouroboros, to attempt to claim them as part of your domain. Should they accept you, I will name you the god of giants.
Very well. And when one god is born, how does the amount of followers or the devoutness of his followers impact his strength?
The mortals were made in our image, Ouroboros. They are not terribly different than we are. In most ways, that is. We gods are what we are, and we are on equal footing in that regard. For example, you and Thalia are similarly as powerful right now. You are both very strong for your mortal forms, but as far as your godly forms are, you are young, newborn. That can be changed by what powers you hold, such as, produce the lightning bolt. Say what tools you wield. The spear of Athena, the shield of Ares, my lightning bolt, the trident of the deep. These things can help you raise power, but at the end of the day, and the bolt just vanishes, he says, it is worship that makes a god stronger. Not exercise, not knowledge, not charisma or blood. It is worship that makes a god mighty. And this is why I am the strongest of those. Why I am the most loved and the most feared. All worship that comes to Olympus goes to me as well, for I am their king, and I bear the primordial bolt. Which to grow stronger, Ouroboros, you need their worship. From that power you will be able to protect them. How it should be. How I imagined Uranus meant it to be.
In that same breath, in my newborn form, what am I capable of?
He looks at you and sort of looks you over scanningly, as he might. As you are aptly named, Ouroboros, Ravager of Olympus, god of pain. You can take it as well as inflict it. Your strength comes from the pain you inflict or take. These are your powers. And they will grow as your worship grows. Your mortal life was based on pain, was based on anger in the face of it, of battle, and now it is yours as a god.
So say I wanted to transport to the giants right now.
Things could be arranged, Ouroboros, things could be arranged. Much of your power comes from your time as a mortal. Hercules cannot teleport as Thalia can, for example, which is why we have our tools. If you wish, you are a little young to be able to access the winds of Boreas so readily, but it can be arranged as long as you're here on Olympus. The way back, however, might be a little more require.
I see.
I will speak with Boreas. I will have him use his winds to what extent he can transport a newborn god. It hasn't been done in a very long time, not since Dionysus.
Well, thank you for at least humoring me, Father.
At least humoring you. Have I not given you all you desire?
You have. But I seek to use these powers in the best way possible.
You are a god. That is your prerogative. Then for good or ill, that is what it is to be a god. It means only I can tell you what to do now. And all I tell you to do, Ouroboros, slay the Titans. Bring them pain.
In pain they shall experience. Forevermore.
Good. And you two sort of like go off the balcony and your eyes will sort of refocus and you can find yourself wherever you wish. I wonder, Ouroboros, as you realize your potential to look down in the mortal world, where would you look first?
I think the first place I would look is the monastery where I was raised.
You look right down towards Sparta and beyond, even further west. And you come to the mountainside monastery of Ithome. You find yourself almost like you're standing there, but not quite. Your eyes are still on Mount Olympus, but you are seen here, standing amongst a long, burned-down ruin. No one lives here. No one but the birds and their animals, and the bees, and whatever other creatures have gathered. The moon shines down on what was once a peaceful place. But portions of it are rebuilt. Your first vision is of the broken down pieces, but as you turn around, you see the major portions of this monastery are beginning to be rebuilt brick by brick by brick. And you see young monks working away, many of which, though quite younger than you knew them, you surprisingly recognize. People who raised you. Ouroboros, you recognize in this moment that you have broken the cycle. Or this moment, you perhaps should be the king of giants. Or not. God cannot be a king of mortal kind. Not as anyone but Zeus, or a god. You will not become Apollyon. You will not fight the gods. You will not die by your younger's hand. The circle has been broken by your divinity.
And then I look at the boy who would be my brother.
The boy who would be your brother, who you know not to be. You may feel to be your brother, but holds the same marks that you do, the same look that you do. Sleeps soundly in a slightly oversized bed for someone his age. Quite a bit brawn for a young man. And he sleeps in the same room as the man and woman that raised him. At his age, you were in a monastery. But he is not. He is in a sleepy little village that probably will not be stepped on not near important enough to be the eyes or ire of the Titans or the gods. And he sleeps, and he seems peacefully so as he smiles.
And so my eyes are like right there, like in the room, right? Like I'm
I would say you're at like the window, because you cannot
Okay.
see like through roofs, so to speak, you know?
mm, okay.
You can see what, the idea is that this is like almost like telescopic in a way, so you could like, put your sensor down, as it were, like where you could possibly telescopically see from the mountain. So as you look down there and you see the little village, you can like place your sight outside the window. So you look through the window and see the boy sleeping in his bed, bathed in moonlight.
I
Fine,
think
peaceful.
smiling. Maybe with an ounce of happy sadness. He'll just kind of whisper, "And so you shall rest."
Zeus
and
says,
you
what was
will
that?
never-"
What would you say? Zeus said,
Oh, sorry, Father.
oh, yes, it can be jarring. Yes, forgot. I'll leave you to it. And he'll walk away. And yeah, it's going to take some getting used to. But let's circle back around and let's go to Thalia. Unless there's anybody else who has anything they want to do. Slightly less complicated a request. Anyone?
I'm good.
Okay. You don't have to be. But
I have exactly a 20-minute, 19-minute thing that I want to do.
Perfect. No, we will go to Thalia. Thalia, you use project image, and from this high plane, your powers are a little more enhanced than what Ouroboros might have from looking off from his high perch, though you could as well, if you had a mind to. You sense the power of your mind to a place deep underground. Does project image say that you can just go to a person that you're aware of? Yeah, where can you place that?
We've been to her city, right?
Yeah. You place yourself within there, and all eyes turn to you as a great number of drow are shocked to see a god emerge within their halls. You are divinely beautiful, graceful in your step and every single movement. Your eyes gleam and glow, your hair is radiant, and the drow look at you with shock and awe. But they do not do anything, whether it be for fear of your wrath being a god, or for perhaps some admitted reverence, as these drow have been godless for some time now. You see that built into this strange city, there is a high and discernible palace in the center of the city that is not terribly far from you. You begin to, I presume, make your way down the path, and the drow sort of get out of your way. They don't dare touch their weapons, again, for fear of your wrath. None bend the knee, but they watch you go like an angel touching foot down in the middle of the road. And everything sort of stops and watches. You go up to the grand doors and look at the drow guarding there, and they look at each other. They know it's their job to probably keep you from here, but we're tasked to achieve in this moment. Is there anything you say or do? A persuasion or a deception check?
I'm gonna pick persuasion.
Okay, of course you will. Good thing we're at the end of the game. Okay, they're like, I think they more take it almost like you have given yourself as it's a persuasion, not a deception. I could have given you intimidation as well, really. But you put it very peacefully, very like I mean to see her. And they sort of look at one another, and they know they can't really stop you. And they take it as a kindness, and they'll allow you to pass, opening the doors. And you walk through the halls of the palace solitarily, almost glowing as you go. Many of you have probably seen the paintings of like Renaissance paintings of nymphs and goddesses that are almost like whitely pale, as if they glow against the canvas. And that is what Thalia is like. You make your way through the halls and find your way to a high throne that is not decorated with spiders, as this society once was, but is rather plain, in fact, just sort of a stone high throne. And on it, you see the Inquisitor sits boredly and sees you approach and kind of, her eyes widen. And she sits up. She says, Thalia, you... And she speaks in common. Oh, no, she only speaks Drow in Elvish, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She speaks to you in Elvish, as I believe that's how you spoke when you knew each other. She will say, Thalia, I have not seen you look so different. You've changed.
Inquisitor, my friend, if I might still call you that. It is a pleasure to see you once again. And I thought you will say this in the Drow tongue.
The Drow tongue. Ooh, power moves. She will nod and swap to the Drow tongue, under common, and speak and say, she'll look around the room and say, leave us. She'll gesture widely, and the various elite warriors will bow and leave the room, and the doors will close until you two are alone. And she'll step up from her throne and step down towards you. She's much more decorated now. Definitely wearing the regalia of some kind of royalty, nobility. She says, I am Queen Nepenthe now. I do not go by that title any longer.
You've embraced your name.
I have.
It brings me great joy to see it. Nepenthe?
That is my name, Nepenthe, that's right. Considering that the god that gave me my title is no more, it seemed unfitting, and it seems that the Drow people have embraced me as their queen, so here I sit rather boredly.
I'm impressed. Your city is beautiful. You turn things around so quickly.
Not so, Thalia. My people lack an identity. So long have we been under the thrall of Arachne, the Spider Queen, and so long have we dreamt of vengeance upon Athena. Now here we sit, quite sure what to do with ourselves. Have you come to give us purpose? Thanks.
I thought about you a great deal. It's only been
Couple months.
Okay.
A couple months. Not long.
I thought about you a great deal over the past few weeks, and you're never far from the mind. What is it above ground? We got the Oracle back. We lost Olympus and regained Olympus. Many gods have been captured and rescued, and the war against the Titans has been anything but boring. I envy you a little bit.
Envy me? Ah. You've been gone for some time, yet how easy it is to remember you. You were always one who didn't have a stomach for war.
No, and I still don't. Very much feel forced into it, but it is my place, and I don't regret it.
See. Well, what do we do now, then? You do not wish to go to war, but are thrust into it. My people require a purpose, and yet here we sit, godless and without.
Why can't your purpose be yourself? Look, community and family and subjugated for so long that these tenets have been lost, I'm sure. And there's much to be said for the tenet of love.
My people have not been taught love as long as we have been alive. We have been taught war, subterfuge, ways of poison, dagger. These things that you speak of, though are pretty, are not things that we are well equipped to do.
I know you found it in your heart to hold a great deal of love for your people. That's what I admired most about you. Nepenthe? Nepenthe. Sorry.
It is probably the only thing that has kept my people from killing each other, why civil war hasn't broken out. If there's one thing that we, my people, have, is that they have a care for one another. And that will remain true, hopefully. But, as I said, we're not equipped for the things that you say. We are not people of, or at least my people do not see themselves as people of love or compassion. And you're here to teach us, I presume. You always were fond of gloating about the domain of love.
I would love the opportunity to teach you of my ways.
Make me a persuasion check. 35. She says, after all I have done and after all we've been through, you would take me as another.
I admire you a great deal. I truly do. And I admire the tenacity of your people. Again, admittedly, you have not been far from my mind. All these weeks, and in many ways I wish you were still by my side.
I shall make you a deal, Thalia. You are a god now. I am not so foolish as to not recognize the signs. You did study long and hard to learn how to kill them, after all.
Invented God, so to speak. What is this deal you speak of?
You want me. I want my people to flourish, and my people lack an identity. You propose that they should be looking inward, learning about how their community is. I would have you teach my people of love, and these things that you have tried to press upon me. In return, you'll have me. You make me feel bad, and I will be open to your teachings as well. and I will attempt to spread your religion amongst my people. And maybe they might have an identity that has to do with compassion and love and all these things that you care so much about.
I wouldn't want such a transactional relationship with you.
They're made all the time. Didn't you tell me that you were once promised to a man?
And I ran away from it.
So it's a no then.
It's not what I said either. No, I do intend to, if you should let me, teach you of my ways. But you truly study and learn, you'll come to understand that it is not so transactional. Symbiosis between two individuals who truly care for one another. The way that you care for your people. Find that individual. I suspect we do have the capacity. I hope anyway.
Very valid. We shall not call it a transaction then. Let us call it then, what's the surface word? Courtship, as you put it. She kind of like almost twitches as you like giggle at her as she says courtship. Not in like a fuck you kind of way, but in like a, like if I could hear myself like 3 months ago. Very well, we may court, and I will learn what you have to teach. Try and be open. And perhaps in proving to you, I might prove that my people could be open to such things as well.
One of the best ways to learn is by example, and we shall set an exquisite example, I suspect.
Well then, let's go give my people the news. And she will approach you and offer a hand.
I will not take it. I cannot be here presently. Here in spirit.
The illusions of gods, yes, of course. She puts her hand down, she says, very well, come along then. And you two can walk through the halls of Drows, and she approaches her people, she will say to them, you don't want to hear all of this, very well, come along. And she'll bring all of her warriors and staffs and nobles, and she'll exit the palace and have them call a grand meeting, which will take about a half an hour for, not a half an hour, maybe like 15, 20 minutes for the Drow people to largely assemble, more will fill in. And essentially she'll make a declaration. She'll say, my people of Orenthrantha, it is time we became more. So long as it been since the Spider Queen is slain, and so long as it been since we've had a true enemy. As I have told you, the surface is not ours to slay any longer. We look for something to slay and something to fight. I myself have been furiously seeking for us to wage war upon, but perhaps it is time for another way. Until our enemy reveals itself, it is time for us to learn who we are. This is the god of grace of Olympus. Those gods who treated me with mercy, after all I had slain and done in the name of our people. Who had me fight at their side and learn that there is more than the Spider Queen. And as we have learned now, that we cannot rely on the Spider Queen one way or another, and you will all feel the way you wish to feel. But, in the meantime, those of you who love the Drow, those of you who care for them, and those of you who want to learn to love them better, I invite that we tear down the temples of Arachne, for she will not return. The gods have returned, and return in might. If we cannot slay them, we must join them. It is a time that we learned what good they have to offer rather than the evil they preyed upon our god so long ago. We are drow. We are not Arachne, who suffered at their hands. We are drow. Let us see what they have to offer us in the way of learning who we are. We'll turn to you if you have anything to say to the drow people. She must be good at speaking, but you are far better at she.
I felt a deep admiration for another people. Ferocity that unmatched and unparalleled among many of the peoples that I've known. I think it's time to turn that ferocity inward into compassion for one another and to build a greatness that none has ever seen in this underground city. Build community and build families, and we will in turn feel the grace and the love of gods and their blessings. And I will be here to support you and champion your people along the way. It starts with
Nepenthe.
Nepenthe. This will begin with Nepenthe and I wish I was not an illusion, but she'll smile and beam at Nepenthe and just try to like exude admiration of this queen.
I'll smile back at you. A strange thing she's doing with her face. You haven't seen her do much. And she'll turn back and says, "There it is. God of grace comes first to us, we drow, recognizing us more than any other fool in Greece." And they all sort of chuckle at that. Says, "So let us explore this thing that we've had so long but ignored. Our grace with the blade, our grace with fury, our grace with the passion that we love one another. Let us explore this until our future enemies reveal themselves. For now, let us find our ways to enjoy peace." And drow people, it's hard to convince an entire civilization of people in one speech. You can do a pretty damn good job. You can roll me either a persuasion or a performance check.
I'll do a performance this time.
Just to change it up. Let's live a little risky.
And I still get a natural 19 for 31.
Oh, how great. How great for you. And the people will be largely happy and into this idea. You get the sense that these people are just desperate for, like, their whole way of life was based on the worship and the way of this one God, the commandments of this one God, and without it, there's this gaping hole in their culture. And at this point, they just seem, the words themselves make sense to look inward and embrace the drow grace of battle or care for their people, and try something a little bit softer than spite and hatred. And they deeply desire to fill that gap and to bring a new god in, one that their queen desires, who has done so much for them in the past. Seems to sit well with most. It will be up to you if you could decide. For the time being, we will see what happens next. Drow pull down their temples in truth and erect statues in your image. We shall see what the new God of grace will do with the drow people. But they are yours to watch over, to punish, and to grant gifts to. With that, fledgling god Thalia wastes no time and earns herself a large following. And that is where we will end the session.
Well done.
What a fucking curveball session. Holy